Bro, that's crazy. It's a cover. That's unbelievable. Well. You learn every single day. Welcome on in, everyone. How's everyone doing? Oh my God, we're back again. Oh my God, I am having dreams of Maria. You have no idea what I have planned for you today. We are going to go balls deep. Oh, yes. But before we do that, Scully, you got to say something?
Mulder, the truth is out there. But so are lies.
Absolutely. Right, check this out. What captured in the sky the other day. Oh, it's a double one again. Look. It's double. Okay, well, maybe. Maybe it's a satellite one? There we go. Oh, hello. You went bright then, didn't you? Are you communicating? Could you do that again? Could you please do that again? If you are a satellite, you're probably not going to do anything, but you just shine bright. Bright like a diamond. Could you shine again? That would be great. Make some sort of contact. Could you change direction? Now, it did shine, didn't it? Or maybe it could be my focusing on the camera. Possibility. It's a possibility. I'm not letting you out my focus, mate, because I want you to communicate. Communicate. Folks, and welcome back to Alien Addict. This is the show where we discuss all things UFOs and aliens to the paranormal, and our pursuits into the mysteries or the unexplained. Welcome on in. Oh my God, I'm so excited for today. Like literally, guys, you have no idea. I've been on like a proper bender in a good way. I mean, actually doing proper research, really delving in and trying to get my head around the Maria Orsic story. Yes, we're back at it once again. I think it's part 7 of the word we cannot pronounce. It's the N word. It's not the word that you're actually thinking of. It's to do with the Third Reich. Yes, the Nazi. Yes. I've got to cut out. I've got to try to be YouTube friendly. So no swearing, no burping, and no naughty words like chems. I've got to say chems now. I've got speaking tongue, as one would say. But happy Friday, everyone. So today, sorry if you can hear me slurping. Let's just go through chat. Let's go through chat because I've got a lot to talk about today. And I mean a lot because, woo, unbelievable. Right. 1 2 Saxon, how's it going? You got, lava cake. Is that some sort of like red velvet cake? Or is that, I don't know, remind me, man. Lava cake. I know, it's cake, and I love the sound of it. How's it going, man? Hey, Chameleon UK, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. John Strokes, thanks for shout out as always. It's much appreciated. Sadie, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Welcome on in. Rotary Matrix, how's it going, brother? And Chilster, how's it going? Hippie Sophia, I'm just going to call you Sophia. Tags get me off the mind. Yeah, I'll be doing all right, man. Yeah, beautiful scenery the other day. I know we talked about on Tuesday. I might have 420 before the show. Shh. Hope you're doing well, though. Hope you're doing well. Right, who we got here? Paul Robinson. How's it going? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Cole Bell's Cats. Bob Lazar. Paul again. How's it going, everyone? How's it going? I think. Oh, and John P. Adventures. There, I see ya. I see ya. Oh, who's this? Oh, I'm gonna pronounce this right. Woo Rider, nice to see you. Welcome on in. Oh, what's that there? Looks like the TR3B, the Aurora project. Liking it. Very good. Nice to see you. And obviously, She Pop Pop. Welcome on in, everyone. I think that's it. Oh, have I missed anyone? Comfy Sofa. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Right. Okay. I think that's everyone. We'll catch up. Right. So today it's a special one. I don't think I've ever delved into research in the past week and a half in terms of trying to find. Oh, right. I thought it sounded familiar. Something I might have smoked. Oh, mate, that sounds banging. Well, I've got a bit of a mixed bag with mine. I don't know what I've got, to be honest with you. It's working, but it's awesome. It's going to be a nice chilled stream for me because I've got so much to talk about in terms of Maria Orsic and the Vril Society. Yes, I'm not giving up. You know my thoughts on it. I keep on saying that through the research that I have done, primarily Maria Orsic, or even though the Vril Society as well doesn't really exist. However, okay, let's bring my notes up because it's okay. I've got to go through a lot of things today in terms of trying to explain Vril and Maria Orsic. And we have a new AI friend with us. Absolutely. We get to her in a bit. So what happened was I officially have. I never actually bring it up. I've got my own page and archive. Did I bring it up last time? Well, anyway, I'm going to bring it up anyway because I need to show you, if I can, my collection. No? Okay. I'm so new to this. Hold on. Uploads? Okay, right. Oh, fantastic. Okay. I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to show you because this kickstarts the story. Hey, Ray Clay, I see you there, man. I see you there. I'm just busy putting something up now at the moment. I'm going to put this in the description and in chat because this is Alien Alex official. Yes, official. Get out of here, Nick. That one. Official Internet Archive. Yes, we have my archive where I upload all my magazines. So once we go through the magazines, well, the first episode you will see will be uploaded so you can read it for yourself in all its content. But nevertheless, what actually happened is that I wanted to find out more information on the people that were involved in the story of Maria Orsic and the expansion of the Vril Society itself. I must go through my notes, make sure everything's right. Okay. So I'm going to give you my publication I'm going to be showing you today in terms of where Maria Orsic's story came from, literally where the whole thing came from. I'm going to go through it, but I've got AI voice that's going to actually transcript everything into English and is going to read it out for you. It might take about 30 minutes, but it's going to go into so much detail. And it's detail that made me go, oh, actually, I might be wrong. But I remain open-minded. It's going to get really, really interesting today, guys. So if you're into Vril and Maria Orsic, I strongly recommend to stick around because you're going to get the dog's bollocks. You're going to get everything. And this is stuff I haven't even heard on YouTube channels, to be honest with you. And I've researched a lot into this, man. Hey, Gary, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. Welcome on in. So, yeah, it's going to be a very deep dive. It might drag on a little bit, but I think these sort of episodes or live streams, I think I might upload them as a video to put onto Alien Addict, because with live streams, I want to chill out with you guys, want to watch the videos, have a good laugh and all that. But today is a bit like a step back. So I want to try and make the live streams entertaining, and this one might drag a little bit. So I understand if you want to pop out. I understand that it drags on a little bit because it's like 45 minutes worth of readout and everything. It's going to get balls deep today. Right. So let's start off with Vril. So you know the concept of Vril, right? I've done 2-3 parts in it. Well, 4 parts now, I think, in terms of explaining where Vril came from. And you can really trace it back to 1871 book called The Coming of the New Race by an author named Edward Bulwer-Lytton, which talks about an underground civilization, like subterranean civilization that had the power of Vril. And this civilization called themselves the Vrilya. And they would use the power of Vril for levitations, healing properties, telepathic communications, and even like destruction of worlds, and even weaponry, and even flying machines. So that concept alone, okay, so that gets brought into German flying saucers. You can trace it back to 1871. And there were some other publications come out of that, all right? So I'm just going to briefly go over, and just bear with me, guys. Going to hope everything makes sense, because I've never done research that in the past week to get everything across, and everything I've researched is all been in Austrian. I had to translate everything into English and to pull it to AI and go through page and page of like Maria Orsic and her sisters. And it's, oh mate, just wait, but so bear with me. Okay, so it all started from 1871, the concept of Vril. After that, there was Isis Unveiled and the Secret Doctrine. If I remember rightly, Isis Unveiled was 1877 and the Secret Doctrine in 1888. And that also obviously was Helena Blavatsky, the founder of Theosophy. And she brought the concept of Vril as well, as not necessarily powering machines, but as a mystical force. Because remember, Vril is almost like prana or chi, like the life force, life-giving energy. All right. So it's almost like, you could explain like Tesla technology, like you're harnessing the Earth's energy field, but with Vril, you're sort of harnessing the energy of what they call this mystical energy, Vril, and it can be harnessed through anywhere. But we're going to get into the logistics and the nitty-gritty of it today. So yes, that is sort of late 18th century, and then you had William Scott Elliott called The Story of Atlantis and the Lost Maria. That came out in 1897, and you had another book that came out in 1910, which was a novel called Panic in Paris. And obviously those 2 books that I mentions the powering of flying machines, but using Vril as a life force and even giving energy and even for powering these flying machines. And that's a very interesting concept as well. And there's one quote I did not bring up. In fact, no, there's one thing I want to show you, and I didn't bring this up last time. Just to go through the history of Vril, this is a publication. It's quite important to bring up. All right. My God, I got a wicked try mouth. There's a problem with you 420. And I must slow down because I'm talking too fast. Right. So look. Sigrun. Oh mate, there's 7 of them. Trust me, we're going to go through every single one in detail. And it's called Sigrun. S-I-G. But there's another one. Oh, I dropped my thing in the bloody thing. What's her name? Tated. we'll get to it. She's got many sisters, I like to call it. Right, but this publication here came out in 1930, and this is all in German, and that's words I can't even pronounce, but it's got a big word that says Vril. This gets put on the internet over and over again, as this proves that the Vril Society was real. And the truth is, that's it. Yeah, thank you, Chief Hop Hop. That's it. We'll get to that in a minute. This was like a very early publication on Vril, but using it as for powering machinery, applying Vril into physics. And it seems to be a very lost, sacred practice, I would say, because no one's really doing it now, unless you're that sort of person who believes you're the reincarnation of Maria Orsic. That's a different matter. But once again, this gets put out saying this is proof that the Vril Society is real. The truth is it isn't. All right, we'll get to the Vril Society because it gets really, really interesting, and it even made me think twice. All right, this is called Vril, the cosmic. Oh my god, I got to think about this now. Oh yes, die as obviously means the. So yes, it's called Vril, the cosmic primal force, rebirth of Atlantis. This is what it's called. All right, but one thing that needs to be taken into consideration, I think it's quite important, is that the fact that, you know, after World War One, there were many secret societies established in Germany. I mean, the concept of the arrival of the Aquarian age, all right, and this was brought out into a lot of secret societies brought up in Germany at that time. It was to bring more or less like a humanity of a spiritual awakening, even like a technical enlightenment and a liberation, I would say. And I think a lot of these members of this occult society believe that lost civilization like Atlantis once possessed technology that was far beyond our imagination, almost like sci-fi. Like, obviously, they mastered the skies and seas, and even to believe in interstellar travel. Very interesting concept that gets brought up again and again, especially in the early 19th century. Or I can't remember. Yeah, like the late 18th century, that concept was very, very intriguing, especially into these secret societies. And I think it's actually worth mentioning. All right. What else have I got here? Did I bring that up? No, I didn't. Because I'm an idiot. And I forgot to bring that picture up. Oh, no, actually, no, I do. Where is it to? I'm drinking hip pop. It's actually got CBD in it. Oh my god. Actually tastes like shite. Right, where's that picture? Bugger. See, didn't swear. There's a few. I tell you, when I get off that, I'm going to get to Willy Lie. Have you heard of Willy Lie? Willy Lie, actually. I swear to God, I had his picture somewhere. I thought I had the quote. Okay, I don't have it then. All right, fair enough. Let's see if we can find it here. Let's bring up a picture of Willy. Here we go. Right. Very interesting quote that I keep glossing over, and it's been in my cards for a very, very long time. This here is a German/American scientist. Yes, because this guy, Willy Ley, or Willy Lie, some people call it, he was working with Werner von Braun in the V1 and V2 rocket factory in Peenemünde. And obviously, he's both responsible, obviously, for creating the V1 and V2 rocket. But in 1947, Willy said a very interesting quote. And I'm going to say it to you now because it's extremely interesting. So this is what he says, okay? Was it in 1947? Oh, am I going to misquote this? But just check this out, all right? So this is what he says. The next group was literally founded upon a novel. That group, which think of itself as the truth of the Society of Truth, and which was more or less localized in Berlin, devoted in the spare time for Vril. All right. So at this time in Berlin, these locals that was based in Berlin were looking into their spare time into Vril. All right. And this is what it says here. Their conversations were founded upon Edward Buer's Lytton's book, The Coming of the New Race. Now, I mentioned about in 1871. They knew that the book was fiction. Buer Lytton had used this device in order to be able to tell a true story of this power. So obviously the power of Vril, all right? But it appears that this group, according to Willy Ley, that they just take that concept and actually applied it into their own philosophy, into something real, okay? So the subterranean humanity was nonsense. Vril was not. Possibility, it had established the British, who had kept it in the state of secret, amassed their colonial empire. Surely the Romans had it. Encourage a small metal balls which guided their homes and were referenced in the Lares. Yeah, Lares. Do apologize. For obvious reasons, the Nazis did not like this theory, but could not do much against it because it was very much high-ranking Nazis were a member of the Society of Truth. So, Society of Truth. We're talking about the Vril Society here. There was a couple of quotes he said. I remember it was 1952, and I don't have it. And he does refer to the Vril Society. It was almost like a second to third hand witness testimony of his accounts of this encountering this person, saying, look, there are these mystics who are actually dealing with this life force or the power of Vril. And that needs to be taken into consideration, okay? And Werner von Braun mentions another sort of aspect, not really referring to Vril, but some sort of mystical force. And that was in his book in 1968 called The First Man on the Moon. And this is obviously a fictional character that he's referring to. There was another, oh, that was it. I got the wrong bloody quote here. So Dr. Herman Oberth gets brought up in the story. Okay. So sorry, guys, if I'm not following you in chat. I'm really, really sorry. I've just got a lot to talk about today. So this is what I mean by Friday show. I want to keep it like fun. And this is like, she needs to be uploaded as a video. So apologies if it drags on a little bit, guys. What am I going to here? Is it Dr. Sorry, guys. I just want to get everything for that bit there. Where is it to? Dr. Herman. That was it. Birth. I thought I had this down and I don't. It's the quote. Really, really good quote here. Fantastic. I got it. Brilliant. Okay, right. Get out of that. Into that. Right. Check out this quote here. Okay, so Herman Oberth worked for the rocket factory as well, alongside Werner von Braun. And check out this quote here. All right. So this was in 1952 when he was in NASA. And he says this: we cannot take credit for our record enhanced. We cannot take credit for our record advancement in certain scientific fields alone. We have been helped, and we have been helped by other people of other worlds. Fuck it, that was the simplest thing to say, and I screwed it up. But yes, it says the end quote there: people of other worlds. Very, very interesting thing he said. Okay, so yes, the concept of Germany being very, very advanced for the time, you know, in terms of weaponry, aviation. I mean, like I said, I'm not glorifying the the Germans, so to speak, but they were extremely advanced for the time, you know, like I mentioned on the last episode. So a very, very interesting quote, he says. They obviously had help from people from other worlds. Very interesting. So yeah, there we go. Right. Let's get back to my notes because I need to go things through order here. Okay. We'll do that. Okay. Right. Where does the story of Maria Orsic come from? Like, where we're going to... So take everything you know about Maria Orsic and the expansion of the Vril Society. Forget about it, all right? Because we're going to go back to the beginning, right to the beginning. I'm going to show you where it all started, all right? I've got the thing here. Where is it to? Okay, so there are two versions I'm going to show you, right, of the Vril project. Okay. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to put me a bit bigger. There we go. Right. So, like I mentioned before, where Maria Orsic's story started was from this. I'm going to put me up bigger, actually, first. This is the original publication from 1992, and we're going to focus on the society and a specific name that needs to be brought up. Okay, so the story of Maria Orsic really started in 1992. Okay, this is where the first beginning of the story began in this book called The Vril Project, that was written by two Austrians called, one of them was called Norbert Jürgen Rathofer, and the other one was called Ralph Ettel. And both of these people, which were Austrians, were part of well, according to the internet, a far right neo-Nazi, I just said the word, society that brought up a lot of occult mystic beliefs that, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, a lot of these philosophies and then brought it into the Vril Society and it's almost like expanded it a little bit. This is where Maria Orsic came from and the Seven Sisters. It's complicated. It's literally complicated because I'm going to tell you something now. Yes, this is the beginning of it in 1992, but when I was on Internet Archive, I typed in the name Norbert Jürgen Rathofer, which, just for clarification, his name's there. All right, you can see it. There we go. Norbert Jürgen Rathofer and Ralph Ettel in 1992. All right. But then in 1994-5, Norbert Jürgen Rathofer released a bunch of booklets like this, but 8 of them going into specific details of the Vril Society and their symbolisms and the sisters. And I was like, oh, shit. So I've spent literally the whole week and a half going through this booklet and digging up every single information I can find on Maria Orsic and her sisters. And I've done exactly that. I'm going to be presenting it to you today. I'm not, but an AI voice will. It's going to go through very, very... Hey, how's it going, man? So I missed in chat. I do apologize. Oh, I'm going to butcher your name there, but thanks for coming into the show. Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names and anything with the Z and a K. I don't know how to pronounce that, first of all, but I appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate it. Let's just go through chat just quickly. Hey, Spirited Kenny, nice to see you, brother. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. God, I need a drink. Yes. Okay. That's everyone. So, how's it going, man? I'm just going to call you Trini Mac. Is that right? How's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome on in. Brian is cool. Oh, that's fine, mate, because the handle is all changed. So you might be called Brian, but it doesn't really show up. It just says that instead. But yeah, Brian, nice to see you, man. Welcome on in. So yes, we are going to go all the way back to the beginning. Thigh, is that right? Okay. Yeah, all the way back to the beginning. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to show you, right, that Vril project here, which by the way took me 10 years to get. They only produced 200 copies, and I have one original here. One on the hunt for more, and I've got another one here as well that mentions like German flying saucers. So what I'm going to do first, if you want to see this, I am going to show you right here. This will come up, and no, that's the right one. Yeah. This is called, well, that's the technical name for it, Das Vril Project. See right there, Das Vril Project. All right, but it's called the Vril Project because these were written in Austrian language. All right, so it's all in Austrian, so I had to translate into English. If you come across this, okay, it's a lot of added nonsense into it because this isn't the original publication. The original publication actually has 140 pages. This has 409 pages. So you've got mix of bloody hell. Already got tits already shown on the screen. So it's got a lot of nonsense in here. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been like reading through it, and there's a lot of other expanded stuff that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But we're going to go back to the original page. If you want to see the original document, I'm going to show you it right now. And I'll put everything in the description and chat so you can see. Oh, coffee. Oh, man. And tits. Oh, 3 combinations. Absolutely. The emblems, not so much. But no, tits, coffee, and mint matchsticks. Ah, that just reminds me of Christmas. Huge boobs, where? I don't see any. Oh, you're talking about the screen. All right. Oh, don't worry. We'll get to tits, you know. Yay, Paul the funny. Thank God for that. Right. Okay. So I'm going to put in right now my matchstick. Hey! Hold on. Let's put up the original document. If I can find it. Where are you two, bastard? Is that going to show? Can you see that? Hey, there we go. Right. I'm going to put that, meal cock and balls, in the description so you can see this in all its glory. Why can I copy and paste that? Oh, there we go. Copy. And this is a PDF file. Is that right? Oh, no, it's not going to bloody work. Okay, tell you what, guys, I will put that in description. Can't put it in chat for some odd reasons. It's gone a bit funny. So this is the original PDF file. You can see right here, all in its originality. Let's find the first picture of Maria Orsic. Where are you two, darling? And just to take this into consideration, God, I sound like a 420. You don't have to have long hair to be in the Vril Society. Ooh, no. Ooh, no. Watch this. So as you can see here, you are having on the screen right now, very blurry and crappy, that honestly would be fantastic to see in all its glory. I mean, these flying saucers with gun turrets on it. You see them in the air and all that. Let's get to but yeah, I'll have to do a full breakdown on this at some point. But this is the other thing. It's like it actually mentions it here. Look, I mean, you got George Adamski's photograph from 1952, and you got the Haunaboo too. It looks just the same. It's like almost like copy and paste it. So I'm not saying this is the scenario, but a skeptic would say, like a Mick West, who doesn't believe the clip, by the way, would say, oh, actually, no, clear, obvious that these two Austrians that have written this book took the concept of George Adamski's and just applied that to the Haunaboo. Not saying that's the case, but that's what a click denier, Mick West, would actually say. But these photographs look fantastic. And that's the other thing for me is why I buy these publications, because I want to see the original photograph. I don't want to see these blurry stuff. Get to blurry photographs and video footage in a bit. Because what Arrow produced, I was like, do you know what? I saw like a 2-second clip of it. I thought, no, I'm going to save it. I'm going to wait until Alien Alex, and we're going to all analyze it together. Don't worry, it's not going to be all German flying saucers, but it might be a bit of a longer show. But where's Maria Orsic? Where are you two, darling? Yeah, this is the Sumerian transcripts that was done. There he is. There he is. Let's bring it up. That's Maria. So when somebody says, where is the first picture of Maria Orsic? I apologize, Maria. Your real name is Maria Orsic. Is it Orsitsch? Orsitsch? But there it is. That is the first sketch or fake portrait of Maria Orsic. Oh, here we go. It's all kicking off now. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Welcome on in. Nice to see you. So yeah. So if anyone says, where's the first sketch picture? This is it right here. Maria Orsic. Fuck's it. Orsic. So Orsitsch. She's my crab. She should be dead now. She'd be over 100 years old. She ain't gonna look like that. Put it that way. But look, long blonde hair. She's got curly hair here. But we'll get to the photographs. Don't worry. Okay, so that is in the Vril project in 1992. So let's skip forward to Norbert Jorgen Rathofer's. Well, actually, Rathofer himself, because I don't think Ralph Ettel actually did any publication into this. And it is, where are you two? That one. Fantastic. Okay. Right. I'm going to stick this in chat. And if you want to research your heart's content, bear in mind, it's all in Austrian and you have to literally put it in an AI generator, which I've been doing. And it's been a bit of a pain in the ass. But the thing is like, am I going to get actual English translation in the correct order? This is the other thing. So just bear with me today, because this is where it all starts, baby. Right on the side here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it goes all the way up to number 8. And we are going to go to number 4. And we're going to skip ahead to right here is where it all began. Ugh. God, I hope you didn't hear that. Hold on, it's a bit bigger. Hey, Space Cow, how's it going, man? How's it going? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Just go through chat once again. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to make things entertaining. Honestly, we have a laugh here. Like, we're not like, we just have a laugh. It's like going to a pub, having a drink, having a laugh. That's normally the show, but this one I think is a bit more like balls deep into research today, man. But no, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, pleasure as always. I'm gonna do this. Right. Show publications. Explain that. That's done. Okay. I should tell you what this bloody book is called, first of all. I am literally all over the place. I never tried to present research like I'm doing today. It's absolutely crazy. All right, so this publication right here, me old cock and balls, is called Galactic Empire Aldebaran. All right, this was released in 1995. This was 3 years after the first publication, which I showed you right here, the Vril Project. And this is what I'm showing you right on the screen right now, is the ever expansion of the Vril Society, their emblems. But today we're specifically focused on Maria Orsic, the Vril Society, and finding out whether or not it's actually a registered corporation. Oh, yes, and her sisters. And we're going to get to literally all her sisters. So there's some rumors that the fact that, she had 4 sisters or 4 mediums. No. Oh, no. She had scissor sisters, baby. Woo! Yeah, we're going to it. Right, let's... I'm just going to show you. Let's bring it up here. Because I was going through this. I was like, oh my God. Got to like translate everything here. So what we have in here is... I'm just going to flip through the screen. Is this on the screen? Yes, it is. Fantastic. Sketches of Maria Orsic. So the one that we saw in the first sketch of Maria Orsic, she had curly hair, but now she's got straight hair, according to this. Don't worry, I'm going to break everything down into English. And we actually have an AI voice called Lily. So, Jenny, you're out. That's it. You're fired, darling. I didn't pay her anything, do I? Yeah, so we've got more emblems. But Maria Orsic also had a best friend called Trayet. Trayet? She pop up. I can't still pronounce the bloody word. Trayet. There she is. We'll get to that. Don't worry. But I'm just going to skip over to like Sigrun. Yes. Oh, look at that. Oh, boys. Woo! Everyone's getting there. Fucking get the wet floor sign out. That's what we need. Yeah, we're going to get all into it today. And I think I've done enough rambling. But just to show you what is to come, all right? So I have broken down this section on everything that Maria Orsic, the Vril Society, were set up, who was in charge of the Vril Society, and who was Maria Orsic's best friend, sister. Woo! Yeah, we're getting into it, man. I love this sort of stuff. And do you know what? It's kind of like furthers my research into it, because it kind of comes to a stop, doesn't it? Until you find something like this and you go, shit, I've got literally, I swore again, I got literally 8 pamphlets to go through, and they all got like 200 pages each. So it's something I'm really, really interested in to find out. But anyway, I am rambling like I always do. So grab yourself an adult beverage, roll a big one, a fat one. Run through Saxon. Run through Saxon, just Bobby there. Hey, Bobby, if you're there, I was going to say happy birthday. I was like, I forgot last month ago, wasn't it? I hope you're doing well, Bobby, if you're watching. And yeah, just sit back, relax. And what I have for you today is something I'm going to be doing for my my UFO magazines. because I managed to get an AI voice pretty good. All right. So fingers crossed if this all works. We'll see. Okay. All right. That one there. Okay. Let me just go back. It said video unavailable, and I'm like, oh shit, please don't do that to me. Oh, yes, it's there. My heart raced then because I worked 2 days straight trying to get this sorted. Bastard. I swore again. Damn it. Right. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. There we go. Into that and into that. Oh, hold on. What's going on here? There. Okay. Fantastic. Oh, we got there in the end, guys. Right. Let me explain what I have for you right here. Can you hear this?
In 1903, with the founding of the Pamba...
Okay. I'm pretty sure I can because I can hear it. All right. I was trying to figure out a way how I'm going to literally present this to you. Everything was in Austrian. Come on then. I'm coming up. Sorry, I'm talking to my cat. Sorry. Everything has been in Austrian, so I had to translate it into English and then literally put it through an AI generated voice. Oh, you're soaking wet. You can hear it. Fantastic. Thank you so much for confirming. So I have page by page. So I'm going to bring this up. Actually, I'm going to show you. So on the right hand side is the original page from the not pamphlet, from the book itself. I'm screwing up words. Apologies, guys. And to the right hand side is the English translation, but I have an AI generated voice reading out the English. All right, so you can follow it, and it's going to give you the full breakdown. So remember, everything you've known about Maria Orsic, forget about it. We're going to go back to the beginning. You're going to know the names, and some of the names are going to be a bit complicated, but feel free for later on research if you want to do is to sort of pause and research these people for yourself. Rudolf von Bottendorf, he was the occultist as well. Like, I think you guys roughly know what I'm talking about, the occultist back in the day. It mentions the Tula Society, mentions the Vril Society, Dietrich Eckart, but it's going to mention Maria Orsic in where she was born, allegedly, and all that. And her scissor sister, I should like to call her, Trayet, I believe. So how long is this? 56 minutes. You are kidding me. Oh, do you see what I mean? We'll see. Look, we'll see how things get on. At the end of the page, I just want to stop and briefly go through some bullet points on like further information on Maria Orsic and the Vril Society. Okay, this is something that I'm not sounding like a snobby prick or anything like that, but no other YouTuber is doing what I'm about to do right now. All right, I even went to the German YouTube side and to have a little look to actually break down this publication. So you're going to get the balls, tits, and ass. You know, we're going to get the coffee, the mint matchsticks, and the tits literally in your face. Right, you're going to know everything at the beginning. All right. This is going to get a deep dive here, guys. All right. So let's do this.
Biblinist Society in Berlin in 1903, with the founding of the Pan-Biblinist Society in Berlin under the leadership of the personalities mentioned, Friedrich Delitzsch, Peter Jensen, Hugo Winkler, Alfred Jeremias, Paul Schnabel, Eduard Mayer, all highly regarded specialists in the fields of ancient Near Eastern studies and Assyriology. The former term, Kreis der magischen Panbabylonierinnen, circles of the Panbabylonian female magicians, took on a new meaning. These Panbabylonische Gesellschaft, Panbabylonian Society, members had made the myth of the Whore of Babylon, the well-known anti-Catholic interpretation of Revelation chapter 17 with its Whore of Babylon, enthroned on the 7 hills, into an instrument of their Aryan Germanic philosophy. The list of members of the Panbabylonische Gesellschaft in 1901, published by Friedrich Delitzsch in his work Babel und Bibel, already presented the spirit of the German imperial era II in a positively Babylonian light. The work of the Panbabylonists was strongly opposed by the Church. Overall, however, the influence of the works remained sensational. Of these already mentioned scientists, especially the American Philo Morris Biedenkopf, gave a wissenschaftlich Kreis. Academic circles, lecture in 1903 on the Panbabylonische Gesellschaft movement. The already mentioned scientists.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. When Lily says the word Gesellschaft, it means society, okay? Because this is written in Austrian, it doesn't translate it properly, all right? So there will be some certain words that it might not come across right, but I will pause and correct it, okay? So when it says the word, like for instance here, Thul Gesellschaft, but the real pronunciation of that is Tula. That's the German pronunciation. So the Thul Society is, the German pronunciation is Tula Gesellschaft, which means Tula Society. Just put that forward.
Peter Jensen and Hugo Winkler gave the cries of the authors of the works, Des Gilgamschipos in der Weltliteratur, von Jensen, and Die Babylonische Geisteskultur, von Winkler. In the years 1897 to 1898, in Zagreb-born Croatian Maria Orsic, later Orsitsch, was already influenced by the Panbabylonian Society, and its Kreis der magischen Panbabylonerinnen in Vienna, which also had Rudolf von Sebetendorf, later the founder of the Vril Gesellschaft, as a participant.
It's a said it.
Von Sebetendorf processed this Germanic core of the Croatians under the title Die Betelung von Maria O, translated by Sebetendorf in 1927 into German under the title Die Vril Gesellschaft. In the year 1918, during Maria O's stay in Munich in Bavaria, she met Rudolf Trebisch, a member of the...
Okay, so Maria O, all right, and there'll be another person called Sheepop. How do you bloody say it? I can't. Twait. Just call her Twait for now. I don't know how you pronounce it in German, but yeah, not twat. What I'm talking about. Twait. Yes. All right. She gets brought up as well as Maria Orsic's partner. All right, sister, I like to call it. But yeah. So when it says Maria O, see at the top there, that means Maria Orsic, Ortish, or so to speak.
Fuel craze, who then in 1919 with a third person was called Grundungsträger, founding carrier of the Thule Society. In the same year, another 2 years later, Maria O and Trot A, whose full name is Panbabylonisch Magisch interpreted as Jungfrau Maria O, increasingly appeared. Maria O and Trot A, who were interested in Panbabylonian magical things, even dreamed of such. Only in 1919 did Maria O begin Gedankenpost, thought mail, also by telepathy, with the Aldebarans from the 68 light-year away star system Aldebaran.
There we go.
From this Gedankenpost, which Maria O described as Templar und Vrilkraft von Aldebaran, she received, among other things, technical blueprints for Transmedialübermittlungen, transmedial transmissions from Aldebaran. From 1940.
Okay, so right, that first page mentions Maria Orsic and that Twait, is that right? And it mentions about having transmedial communications from a planet 68 million light years away. We'll get to the constellation and all that, but that's the first signs of it, okay? This is where the first story began, all right? So when it says there, I'm going to show you the word that Twait A, that's the other lady, all right? We're going to get to her in a bit, but... Right, let's continue.
35 onwards, Maria O dictated this to her Geheimbund, secret society, which she had founded together with Trot A. Jedoch Lenger und Acute hat als Maria O bis Hut überlebt. However, longer and even today, Maria O has survived until today. It is claimed that the Gedankenpost-Empfang, thought mail reception of Trot A, still alive today, was even verified as War der Gedankenpost-Empfang of Trot A, still alive today, by the Aldebaran Gedankenpost of the Aldebarans. However, the Gedankenpost of the Aldebaraner, Aldebarans, received by Maria O, is said to be even more precise, which is why Maria O is considered the priestess of the Vril Society. While Trot A is only a Dichterin, dictator, who received the dictated messages from the Aldebarans, passed on by Maria O. These Gedankenpost dictate took place in one of the mediumistic Bavarian temple writings of the very similar handwriting of Maria O, so that Trot A, when reading the text later, could not distinguish at first whether she had written the lines herself or Maria O. and Trot A. had written down the dictated words of Peter Jensen in Vienna at the German Pan-Babylonian Society, because the texts had to be laboriously translated from the old, Knights Templar Sumerian Sum text keys. As soon as one or the other Jedin Kempos diktat was so firmly Aldesodal, sealed in the soul that the two iridescent Sumerian white glossy glass-like Sumerian tablets with Peter Jensen's seal appeared to Maria O. and Trot A. The reading and translation of the Sumerian Wörterbuch by Friedrich Delitzsch was then carried out even more thoroughly. Very slowly, the Jedin Kempos texts were transcribed into the already mentioned Bavarian temple writing, consisting of an adapted, from Phoenician Carthaginian and Germanic runes adapted and Kelschriftszeichen mixed writing of the first Jedin Kempos. Transmedial message of 1919 were messages about the Welt Sun, also the Aldebaran Sumi planet in Sumir, and also about other celestial bodies of the Sonnen systems Aldebaran Sumi. The Jedin Kempos Stabsenderinnen gave themselves the priestly title of the Theokratisch Regierten Welt Sumi, Aldebaran Sumi, Ganz zu begin.
Do you see what I mean? It's like, how am I supposed to like read this out loud? Do you know what I mean? I had to use AI, so it's one of those things how AI sort of translates this. Okay, I thought at least show you the English translation on screen so you can actually read it for yourself. Because like it's got like that word. What the bloody hell is that? So yeah, apologies guys. I did the best I can, but at least the voice is bearable. No offense, Jenny, no offense. But there's one thing I wanted to show you in that original publication right here. Remember the Sumerian text it just mentioned in that passage right there? This is apparently it. That's the original Sumerian text translated by Maria Orsic, right? I got some there as well. There we go. But yeah, that's in the Vril project right here. Okay, so it does mention it just briefly though, but you can see where the story is starting to pick up.
At the very beginning of the Jedin Kempos, Maria O. and Trot A. received the instruction that from 1919, or at the latest by the beginning of the 20th century, more precisely around the middle of the year 1920, the technical feasibility of the Welt Sumi and their identity with the 68 light-year distant Erd-like Sonnen system Aldebaran. Only 8 years later, in 1921, the existing reports about auspicious Jedin Kempos transmissions via the interstellar star-rich Aldebaran Sumi Nebel, similar to those in 1921, led Maria O. and Trot A., the Altorian Talish Peter Jensen, to move into the parental home of their friend Gudrun, near Koenigsee in Oberbayern. When these transmissions became...
sorry, guys. There's a guy named Peter Jensen. You can see my cursor there. Peter Jensen, he was part of the Pan-Babylonian... Oh, bloody hell, how you say it? I have bloody say it. Pan-Babylonian... oh, yes, I can. Oh, she pop up with this one. Is it Pan-Babylonian Mesopotamia Society? That was in... We'll get to that at the end of near the end of the episode, but he was actually part of that society, Peter Jensen. So that is added in a historical accuracy into this book. All right.
More frequent in 1921.
Sorry for
Maria
stopping.
O., Trot A., and the two women friends called Aldeutische Gesellschaft für Metaphysik Vrilerinnen II, which later...
Again, sorry guys for stopping. I will stop doing that. Vril Gesellschaft, again, Vril Society. All right.
Became known as Vril Gesellschaft, began to become active. Through their special Kundalini-like consciousness states, Peter Jensen called Maria O. and Trot A. by their Templar philosophical birth names of the Aldutischen Gesellschaft für Metaphysik, Vrili and Vrilerinnen II. The Aldeutischen Gesellschaft für Metaphysik, Vrili, had already been founded in Munich and Vienna in 1921.
Yeah, that was an actual real society as well. Is a fancy word that I can't pronounce, or we'll do it at the end, other one.
In the year 1926, the founding of the company Antrobstechnisch Werkstätten OHG by Maria O. and Trot A. followed.
Okay, right. Sorry for stopping. I've really got to stop doing this, but I need to explain something. So that big fancy word, you see where my cursor is there? That was a real registered organization, okay? They developed cars and stuff like that and engineering. This where it gets interesting, okay? Because this is where the business side of the Vril Society, because it was almost like a business, all right?
All members of the Aldutischen Gesellschaft für Metaphysik, Vrilerinnen II, later also called Vril Gesellschaft, were now officially employees of the company.
Shaft.
The company name, Antribstechnisch Werkstätten OHG, was derived from the Vril OHG that had been operating secretly since 1921 under the cover name Mezenabhengigkeit. The company existed until 1926 and was then continued under the name Vril Gesellschaft. The so-called Mezenabhengigkeit ended, and from then on the society was financially independent. In 1926, Maria O was the main shareholder, while Trot A, the procurement officer of the company, Vril OHG, i.e. Antribstechnisch Werkstätten OHG, was also officially listed as co-owner, and so the two women were recognized in official registers.
So there we go. That's an interesting takeaway, isn't it? That the fact that the Vril Society was an expansion from that big fancy word, which is a I literally tried to bloody say it, and I couldn't. You can see it back there, and if I just go back just to show you, that there, see that there, okay, that's an actual real organization, OHG, all right. But they're saying that the expansion of that was actually the Vril Society. So, from what I gathered, I don't know if Sheep or Pop, you got the same thoughts on this. Is that the fact that the Vril Society was almost like split up into categories? Like one was like a business side for either looking into using Vril power for potentially flying machines or using it for some sort of device, and the other side was actually going through the transmedic communications. Oh my god, I'm screwing my names up today, man. The telepathic communications, that's what I'm trying to tell about. So that's what I gathered from this, because it's set up as a real organization, and obviously the funding, we'll get into that. But there it says Vril OHG stands for real organization, and I put that in Grok and ChatGPT, and it actually came up as a real organization. So Vril Society is real, I guess. I guess loosely. We'll get to it, don't worry.
Antribstechnisch Werkstätten OHG was also officially listed as co-owner, and so the two women were recognized in official registers.
Okay, so I stopped this right here so I can actually talk. So there will be pages where there'll be nothing. There'll just be pictures, and it'll just be like bits and pieces I can go over. Yeah, very interesting that the fact that the Vril Society was in fact in a registered organization in Germany. I would have thought at least, hey, Green Tea, how's it going? Nice to see you. Yeah, sorry, I've been looking at my notes and all that. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so in what I've gathered from this I keep calling it pamphlet, is not, as a booklet, same sort of booklet as this, same thing, really, thickness and all that. Is that Vril itself, the Vril Society, was a registered organization, allegedly. I would have thought you would see some, at least, logos, because if it was the expansion from the Tula Society or the Thor Society or Gesellschaft, and we know that's a real society purely because we knew the emblems, there's actually documentation, books, even diaries from Dietrich Eckart, you know, so the main players of the Tula Society, which leaded on to the Vril Society, and the key opponent players in that was obviously Rudolf von Bottendorf, which got mentioned in there, the occultist, Dietrich Eckart, another occultist and philosopher as well. And there was another one as well. Rudolf von Bottendorf. I think Karl Haushofer. I think that's how you pronounce his name as well. There was another one. But being as a registered corporation. Yes, I'm in teaching mode. It makes me think, because I put it in Grok saying, is Vril OGH real? And it said yes, it was actually linked to that big fancy word, which what is it called? I had it here. I've got to say it the right bloody word. Where is it? We'll get to it. I got it in my notes here. Oh, is that it there? Yes, I got it here. Let me put that word. I know I had it here somewhere through Google Translate, because I got to tell you what this word actually means. Google has been my friend to a certain degree. Google Translate. So that big fancy word is called, in English, the Drive Technology Workshop. Okay, so that big fancy word that I mentioned, or was actually on screen, I didn't mention it, was actually on screen, was called the Drive Technology Workshop. Right. And that's a registered corporation linked to the Vril Society. So there you go. Right, so top emblem right here. This is what I put this through ChatGPT just to sort of give me like an overall breakdown of where this symbol comes from. And the thing is with that, oh no, that's the word there. Sorry, that's that word. The Drive Workshop Corporation right there. But with Grok, it keeps on putting sarcastic, skeptical outcomes to anything I put into it, because it is a very touchy subject. It always says at the end, "Oh, it's all bullshit and made up." It's like, oh, all right, so hold on a minute. But if I put the Vril Society as a real corporation, you says it's real. So it's like it's like all over the place, isn't it? It's been hypocritical, you know. So this is apparently it, guys. The Vril Society emblem. I have one right there as well. You can read that for yourself. Okay. So I would have thought it'd be on the archive at least. Let's continue. I'm going to pick this up bigger. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Too small. There you go. So sorry. Oh, don't worry. He's nowhere to be seen. Right. Let's get forward. Oh, here's another one. Right. So, yes, you will have little quiet points like this, all right? So this is just a breakdown of what it's basically saying right here. 20 years of the Vril Society. To the left here, we have... oh, that's it. I couldn't forget the bloody word. The All-German Society of Metaphysics. Yes, that is that. Yeah, the Orsitsch Gesellschaft. Mush. That's my German for you. Yes, it's the All-German Society for Metaphysics. Yes. And to the left, we have Maria Orsic and her sister, Triet. Oh, fuck, I can't pronounce the name right. Twiet? Continue. Right. So yes, that's another emblem from back in the day, apparently. I pull it through image.
The Vril OHG.
I pull it through an image review, and it couldn't really find anything in publications anywhere. Well, predated 1992.
Had been operating secretly for 16 years by 1934, and only then, in 1934, did Prof. W. O. Schumann, the Vril Gesellschaft director, together with his Schumann colleague from the workshop, also known as the Vrilerinnen of the company, receive permission from Croat, student in the 20s of the TH Munich physics and mathematics professor, Dr. Schumann's colleague, to publish the research results. In the same year, Prof. Schumann's two assistants...
That's a 1,000-year symbol. It goes back to Babylonian times, but yes.
...in the Munich College of Technology, Prof. Schumann, also gave the TH professor the task of testing Vril OHG for its research results in terms of constancy, and if necessary, to publish them scientifically in the event of a positive result.
Our friends
More
got loads of
detailed
them.
work on Dr. Schumann only began in 1926, i.e. from the founding of the Vril Company, until the year 1943. From the outset, however, under no circumstances did Dr. Schumann close the Vril OHG in 1943 due to war-related circumstances, and then handed over the entire company to Dr. Schumann, who then dissolved it in the same year due to war damage and ended all research activities of the company. Vril OHG.
Okay, so remember Dr. Schumann, that's that guy that said that quote that they had help from people from other worlds. Okay, that's that guy, all right? You're kind of like linking things together, and I'm going through it, I'm going, oh shit, I might be wrong in this one.
But it's interesting. It's fascinating. I'm loving this stuff. Let's continue.
With the death of the last contact to Kurt Tank, the aircraft designer of the Focke-Wulf Company.
Focke-Wulf.
The Vril OHG was a motor development and manufacturing specialist company.
Boom, there. See, the Vril Society organization was a motor development and manufacturing specialist company. It's two separate things, guys, okay? No one talks about that. You know what I mean? Like, no one talks about that. It was all about the transmedic communications from Aldebaran, but it's just not showing you that it's like a flipping BMW company, like a car company. Interesting. It's very interesting.
Which, since its secret founding in 1918, had been working on the year-long development of German engine technology through the Versiller Vertrag, restrictions often war. The main customer of the Vril OHG between 1934 and 1945 was the Motoren und Autofirma Adam Opel AG, which is...
And that's true, by the way. I googled that, and it's an actual true firm. And Vril, if you put Vril OGH, it comes out completely different. On it actually tells you like the truth a little bit on the Vril.
Installed two-cylinder engines built under Raketen-Auto's license in the new car models.
Cars.
From the end of the war until the reintroduction of the German aircraft industry, the Vril OHG is clearly the fastest aircraft of its time. In the autumn of 1944, Opel AG, together with the Vril OHG, delivered the fastest and most powerful rocket-propelled aircraft of the war, the Me-262 Schwalbe, and the rocket-propelled rocket aircraft of the Focke-Wulf Company, whose test pilots, however, were apparently not given any hint that the engines were Prof. Kurt Tank. As early as 1941, the Greater German Reich had imposed a general ban on operating such aircraft companies, which officially existed only until the end of the war. The Vril OHG, which was officially no longer a company in 1941, officially supplied all German armed forces branches with Vril aircraft until the end of the war. From 1941, the company Vril OHG no longer existed officially, which is why, among other things, a Opel PKW, a Boeing Flugzeug HS-126, and a FW-190D fighter aircraft were tested as objects of the company and delivered to the Luftwaffe.
Okay, so yeah, that was part of Heinrich, what's his name? Oh my god, the names is flying by me. Why is the lady name? He was part of the jet engine company, basically. Oh my god, the names is slipping from me. But yeah, that was the FW-190D fighter, and obviously the Boeing as well, and the Luftwaffe was part of that company. I'll find out what it is.
As early as 1936, Prof. Doctoring. Schumann, together with Dr. Winfried Otto Schumann, founded the first German Institute for Technical High-Frequency Technology at the Technical University of Munich, which is still known today. The following publications by Prof. Schumann are known to date. 1. Elektrische Durchbruchfeldstek von Geissen, Springer Verlag 1923. 2. Elektromagnetische Grundbegriff, Oldenburg Verlag 1931. 2. Auflage München und Berlin 1944. 3. Fortschritt der Hochspannungstechnik, Akademischer Verlag, Leipzig 1944. 4.
Does this make any sense?
Elektroellen Karl Hanser Verlag, München 1947. The two last mentioned works Prof. Dr. Winfried...
Right, I'm going to stop there because he's got big fancy words coming up. What the hell? How do you pronounce that? Electrogravitation.
Otto Schumann, and the München den Wissenschaftsapparat und den Elektrogravitationskonverter of the German Air Force captain are mentioned in his color.
Okay, thank God for that. Right, so Dr. O'Schumann. And here is a publication that he released in 1944 in Berlin and Munich. And this is a professor at the Technical University of Munich, and is electromagnetic fundamentals. And this is the transcript from German into English. So yes, electromagnetic fundamentals, their development and their simple technical applications by Dr. O. Schumann. So there we go. That is a publication back then. I couldn't find it to whether or not it mentioned anything about Vril, but I'll be very interested now because, again, Schumann, he mentioned the society back in the 40s. And here he is in the car. Dr. Schumann, probably the best known creator of the Vril technology. There we go.
Exactly, Prof. Doctoring.
It will get to Maria Orsic and that. It's just doing the build up, right?
Winfried Otto Schumann tested the Kohler Magnetstrom apparat in the summer of 1926 together with his colleague from the TH Berlin,
Cheers, Rick.
Prof. Doctoring. M. Close. It is also certain that as early as the summer of 1926, the so-called Vril firma, Antribstechnische Werkstätten OHG, later renamed Vril OHG, already existed under Kurt Vril OHG. The company was founded by Prof. Dr. Schumann himself as early as 1920.
Hey, how's it going? It's going to be on screen. Mark Roy, nice to see you. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well, and welcome to the stream. And yeah, we're learning about some of Vril. Yeah, Vril and the Maria Orsic Society of Metaphysics, as one would say. So yeah, come on in. Nice to see you. Ah, interesting. I'll bear that in mind. Hey, Nathan from the Quantum Show. You're here, man. Late than never. Never mind, man. It's all good. It's a bit of a deep dive today, brother. But don't worry, I'm not reading this time. I've actually got AI voice, but it's nice to see you. Welcome on in. Everyone, guys, go check out Nathan from the Quantum Show. And guess what? I actually have links. There we go. Boom. There we go. Nathan's show. Go check it out, man. Go subscribe. You need some subscribers like Alien Addict does. Unless you're YouTube and being dicks and just take away subscribers. But anyway, let's play.
He was a member of the company
see you,
from
Nathan. Welcome on in.
1939 until April 1945. The technical director Vril OHG was also involved in the development of the Vril Gesellschaft from 1934. From 1941, the company Vril OHG, after the test pilot of all Vril flying saucers, was called RFC-1 1934, RFC-2 1934 to 1940, Vril-1 1941 to 1944-45, Vril-7 and Vrilodin 1944-45, and finally the fighter pilot of the Abfangjägers FW-190D, Dora. And the company premises were located directly in front of Allied bomber attacks. The company, which wanted to remain completely unnoticed, deliberately refrained from registering any German Messerschmitt aircraft, financed the Vril Gesellschaft from 1922, later called All German Society for Metaphysics, Vril Roman II,
there we go.
financed the JFM, the Jenseitsfluggesellschaft.
Right, this is where it gets to, let's put it on screen, the German flying saucers, okay? Key words is going to get brought up now again and again, okay? So we see where the Vril Society, technically when you look at it, is split up into two parts, okay? One is an actual bloody, like a BMW car company, you know, where, like I said, it's part of that organization that deals with car manufacturing. And there's another side of it, that the fact they're trying to get communication. So obviously from a distant planet, either to obviously the Hannibal Vril flying saucers get brought up, but whether or not they actually combine the two together, and this is the other thing. So suddenly we're going to go straight ahead to Vril 2, RFZ1 and RFZ2. Those are anti-gravity flying discs, and I'm going to show you exactly that right now. Not in the room with me, but that would be awesome. Me and being a Hannibal flying saucer, just to show you in context what I'm talking about. So we're going to go back to the original publication right here. This is the Vril project, but it actually does have it in here. RSZ2, which is basically right that, right? Oh god, it's going to be real. It's because it's old. Some of the pages are a bit funny, right? Okay. So what we have here is the RFZ 1 and 2, all right? That classic photograph I know it's grainy. You can see the guy on the side with the flying saucer. Oh, what am I talking about? I got it here. I got it right here. This is the only known, I say, alleged photograph of this. Come on. There we go. From what I just showed you right there, okay? This is the RFZ 1 or 2, all right? This is the anti-gravity flying saucers. So when that word gets popped up, that's what it's talking about, all right? So it wasn't called Hannibal Vril, it was RFZ, if I remember rightly. Probably. Let's go back to it. Where is it to? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, RFZ1 and RFZ2. That is that flying saucer, which is basically that we're talking about. So we're going straight into anti-gravity flying saucers.
From 1926 onwards. And from 1928 onwards, the company Vril OHG was freely financed.
Okay, so we're at this point right here in the middle.
This Gesellschaft, operated on the basis of a Gensaitsmaskin, received its flying machines through the reception of the secret Jeding Kenpo's dictate from the Aldebaran Sumi system, and was thus the first officially registered Feldentribbrunflugzeug, RFC-1 and RFC-2, which could fly faster than any aircraft of the Opel company known at the time. The Vril OHG had been working on this since 1934. When the machines...
Okay, sorry for stopping, but it's points that I need to talk about because otherwise I'm going to forget. So if they had that technology perfected, the anti-gravity flying saucers that I showed you in 1934, why did they use it during the war? This was like 4 years before the Second World War, and they had this technology. Why didn't they use it? Just put it out there.
Finally flew well after the fall of the war. They were no longer operated by the Opel Works, but by the RFC-1 and RFC-2, which had been successfully tested and proven, and the RFC-2 was delivered in 1940 to the Vril OHG, where the first Luftwaffe test squadron was formed. It is also known that in 1941-17, Feldfrabe disc-shaped Vril 1 aircraft with the Opel Blitz. On the underside were delivered, which were later equipped with an improved drive for the Firma Opel, and that Prof. Kurt Tank worked as privateman in the private aircraft and Vril Firma until 1940.
Oh, listen, stop before she talks. Hey, Size Evidence Fringe, how's it going? Nice to see you, man. Vril mediums, yes. I think it gets brought up. Oh, is it? Sounds like an awesome band name, doesn't it? Boner. Oh, you want to talk about boners? Wait for it, mate. We're going to get to the pretty women in a bit. Right. Let's just click play.
From 1945, he worked in the Vril Gesellschaft and Vril Firma, a truly miraculous media SD agent of the Canaris and his organization Ket.
Sorry.
Via Grossen Nutzen der Vrilrundfluggesellschaft Vril 1, Vril 7, and Vrilodin.
Let's get high.
These Canaris Dame contacts through the secret contacts into the Swiss materials for the spaceship construction, which in the greater German area and the occupied territories were no longer available in sufficient quantity after the war, were achieved by the Canaris Dame project under the direction of Admiral Canaris. This project, aus dem Hintergrund fordert, Admiral Canaris was called a traitor by some, but in reality he saved the Vril project. From the summer of 1945, the Vril Gesellschaft and the Firma fled with all media, had Trot A, who had fled into the medium Sigrun von E. Also, Jettingklichen Bildempfang from the Aldebaran Sumi system, which could even be received when the Transmedialskissen of the Aldebaran Sumi ships were drawn.
Okay,
the Rundfluggeschaft Vril 7 was repaired again at the end of 1944 and could be used again without damage until the end of 1944. Thereafter, a Vril 7 was handed over to the SSCIV, SS-Entwicklungsstelle IV, for study and test purposes, as well as for the purpose of being converted into a single-seat Kraftstrahlgeschütz ray beam weapon under the designation Vril 7 SSCIV für Einheitswaffen. Later, the SSCIV, SS Development Center IV, also received the latest Honeyburoman 2/7 H.
Right. Okay, sorry, I was looking at chat then. So it's saying here, Vril 7, that was... Do I have it in my archive here so I can show you quickly? Probably not. No, I don't have it. Is that it? No, that's a Free Eye Atlas. No, basically, it's another version of a flying saucer, V7. All right. So V7, SSE4. So right here, SSE, and that's the number 4. That was a department where it was actually dealing with anti-gravity purposes. All right. So it looks like this might have been expanded just later on in the 30s, I believe. So around about 38, they said they perfected this technology. So SSE4, that was the department where they're handling this sort of advanced technology. Not necessarily saying is linked to the deglocker, but in terms of, let's just say here, anti-gravity purposes, this is where SSE4 came into fruition. I'm sorry, guys, I'm rambling. Do apologize.
I-7 from Vril OHG for the same purpose. And all of these were among the largest passenger and transport aircraft of the inner Earth-studying SSEIV expedition fleet of April 1945.
Okay, this is where we get into the end of the story, okay? So don't worry, we'll get there at the end. So Vril and Haunabu, okay? I've got to show you what Vril and Haunabu actually looks like. Hold on. Let's bring up publications. So, a bit of nug stuck in my mouth. Right, I'm going to show you what that's a Vril flying saucer. Right there. Hold on. Let's get a bit bigger so you can see. So that's a Vril. So the Vril series that were developed, this was more or less like a fighter pilot sort of aircraft. These were basically used for a bit like to take over the Luftwaffe, basically, as a fighter aircraft. But the Haunabu itself, which I'm going to show you right here. Well, you all know what Haunabu looks like. These are the big passenger aircraft, like cargo aircraft. Well, you do have the hydrometer as well. And this was your George Zansky style flying saucer with the gun turret underneath it. There. That's the Haunabu, right? This was like your typical brim of the hat flying saucers right here. You see, you got the Panther gun turret underneath, which some people say is a laser gun. We'll get to that when we get into the full spectrum of the Haunabu flying saucer itself. But that's what the difference is. That's what the difference is between Haunabu and Vril, all right? So Haunabu, the big aircraft, which I just showed you, and Vril is the more tinier one, which is the more fighter intercept aircraft. So let's bring it back up one more time, just to sort of, so you understand. I need to pause it so you understand these words. I hope it makes sense, guys. There's a reason why I got the English version so you can read along. And I'm clicking on the wrong thing. There you go.
The SSEIV expedition fleet of Vril 7, together with all the other Antrib system of the Dimensionskanal Raumflug.
Very good point.
Hyperspace flight type that were in service and further developed on the Dimensionskanal route reached the Aldebaran system in April 1945. I am Weltraum Verskallen Bleeby. Until April 1945, the last known location of the Idun lay in the Umstand area, where it was found on board with no female mediums with Jedingkenpostfähigkeit, telepathic abilities. This also applied to the 2 KSG, equals Kraftstrahlkanonen oder Geschützen, equals Superlaser weapons, of the best Vril 7 that the German Reich is known to have owned in the East, e.g. in Iraq, or even in Germany and other Eastern territories. The Vril OHG, and in 1941 also the Vril Gesellschaft itself, had already permitted between 40 and 50 female mediums and flight leaders of this kind, all of whom were between 20 and 50 years old, to be trained for the later, war-positive, medial telepathic guidance and control of the flying craft. Among the older Vril mediums were young, beautiful women from.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, boys. Get your rags at the ready. Don't use toilet tissue. Don't work. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Maria O, 47 years. Trot A, 46 years. Sigrun von E, 26 years. Gudrun, 44 years. Hyde.
Oh, you all sound like MILFs as well. You can just imagine, can you?
42 years. Paula, 25 years. Lothar Weiss, 52 years. An additional 52 women from the April 1945 Aldebaran-bound dimensional channel spaceships, Vrilerinnen, embarked in April 1945 with Sigrun von E. as flight captain and also as the sole one with Vril medium Lothar Weiss as navigator pilot and maskinist, as well as another 40 women of the SSEIV as guest on board. The Odin flight was piloted by a young, extraordinarily beautiful female pilot whose name is repeatedly given in the literature as Sigrun von E., while the function of the actual Vrilerinnen captain was performed by Trot A. Maria O, because of her age, could only be used as a Jedinkenpost medium with Trot A on Vrilerinnen and later also on Aldebaran Sumi until about 1946-47 with the Vrilerinnen expedition, which was still building up.
Yeah, building up, I bet. Yeah, it's gonna get all very sexual at the moment, isn't it? Or was that just me? Hey, how's it going? My wife was. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, I guess the voice I picked is kind of sexy. I have to admit. But it's nice to see you, man. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Where's the thing? Oh, there it is.
In connection with this, it was said, Jedinkenpost bericht, that she died neither naturally nor by accident, but that she died dichterischer Freiheit, in poetic freedom as a Butch Odin's flug, guest word. From the same Jedinkenpost bericht, thought post report of the women who fled Kopier Oder Garstal, it remains unknown to this day.
Yeah, Nathan, that is actually queued up for a later episode, Admiral Byrd and the Operation High Jump, because it's immensely fascinating. Again, it links into like German flying saucers because that was like part of the story. That's good. Yeah. I'll it's on my notes, man. But yeah, I want to do a bit more deep dive into his diaries more than anything else, because this diary surfaced after he died, and I'm a bit like, oh, whether or not his son sort of promoted it for the stories. I don't know. It's I need more than a week's research to do it. But it's on the cards, man. It's on the cards. But yeah, immensely fascinating, nevertheless. Is there audio? Oh, okay, I didn't have any audio for that one. Okay, just read that for that bit there if you want to. Silence.
The medium Maria Orsic, or Orsic. One can rightly say that without the medium Maria, no Vril project at all would have existed in the true sense. Maria O, probably born around 1898, was around 47 years old when the war ended in 1945.
No, I haven't, mate. No.
She came from Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, grew up in Vienna.
Right, okay. I should have mentioned this. Right, let's just go back. Sorry, guys. Get your sweat rags ready. You are going to know the story of Maria Orsic in all its glory, all right? You want to know the nitty-gritty details, where she came from. You said Croatia. You were right on the money on that one. This is where it all began, guys. I'm showing you right here Maria Orsic's story, where it first started, okay? You ain't going to get any closer to the balls, tits, and ass, or the coffee, mint matchsticks, and tits, all right? I like that one. I'm going to keep that one. Thanks, Sophia. Thanks. So this is where it all began, guys. Happy 420.
One can rightly say that without the medium Maria, no Vril project at all would have existed in the true sense. Maria O, probably born around 1898, was around 47 years old when the war ended in 1945.
So basically, she was a MILF. Sorry.
She came from Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, grew up in Vienna, and as the daughter of a high-ranking German embassy official, spent a large part of her childhood and youth in the great countries of Europe. The most important stations in her life up to then: Vienna, Munich, and after the First World War, also short stays in the Bohemian-Moravian region. Probably as early as 1916, in Abstenden, at intervals, she first received visions in Zagreb. In late 1917, also still during World War I, she met Rudolf von Sebetendorf in Vienna for the first time. The two became very close friends over the years. They were allowed to study the secret teachings of the Knights Templar together, the Herwerer, and similar secret societies. Not long after, the two became very good friends. After a brief stay of Maria O in 1916, she moved from the Pan-Babylonian Society in Vienna, which also included Rudolf von Sebetendorf, to the Pan-Babylonians in Vienna and also in Zagreb. From that point on, Maria O belonged to the circles of the magical Pan-Babylonian women of the society and the circles of the magical Pan-Babylonian women in Vienna. In the year 1917, She first met Rudolf von Sebetendorf in Vienna with Maria O. during the Thule Society of Sebetendorf. This continued.
Sorry, guys. Green tea. This is what I used. All right. You've got a limited amount of AI voices. That's the one. That's the one you're listening to now. Her name's Lily. Sounds awesome. And there's another one as well. I'm going to put in there so you can have a look for yourself. All right. That's what I've been using for the AI voice. It's not bad, and it's free as well.
Into the spring of 1918.
Hope that helps.
In the last days of the First World War, Maria O. moved from Vienna to Munich in Bavaria, Germany. Only 1 year after the end of the First World War, in 1919, the young Croat A., who was 5 years younger than Maria O., with whom she had already become friends in the Thule Society circles, founded by Sebetendorf in 1917, moved in with her. Maria O. and Croat A., who were very close friends, were together the best friends of the circles of the magical Pan-Babylonian women, of the Pan-Babylonian Society in Vienna and later also in Munich. There they received new Thule Society and recruited them for the later new Thule Society that Maria O. and Croat A. had started in Munich as early as
Okay, so Trot A, sorry.
1919.
Okay, see where my cursor? That's where it ended. Okay, so Maria Orsic and Trot A, that's their, I can't remember, scissor sisters, basically. We'll get to Trot. I can't pronounce the name right. The German pronunciation is different, all right? But Trot doesn't really get a mention at all, what I've mentioned in the past, especially when it comes to the Vril Society. So them two were basically working together, and it gets built up into a company, all right? Anything I need to mention here? Yeah, so the Taller Society gets brought off. Rudolf von Bottendorf as well gets brought up as well. But yeah, hopefully this all makes sense for you guys, all right?
They still believed at that time in contacts with the beyond and messenger beings from the beyond. From about the end of 1919, both of them received this way, i.e. through visions, sometimes up to 68 light years away, messages from the solar system Aldebaran. These were also interstellar telepathic contacts and messenger contacts, which Maria O. and Croat A. called Jedingkenpost contacts. From around 1945, more than 2 decades later, Maria O. received transmedial sketches and construction plans from the inhabitants of a planet that Maria O. called Sumierd, or Sumir, which she described as the same Aldebaran Sumi that orbited 2 inhabited Indian Nordic and Middle European-like human-populated planets. 2 years later, in 1921, Maria O., together with Croat A., founded their own circle of friends and mediums, to which they gave the name Alldeutsch Gesellschaft für Metaphysik, which later became officially known only as the Vril Gesellschaft. Magic Gesellschaft, officially registered as the All-German Society for Metaphysics Vrilerinnen II. And in
I mean, the German Society for Metaphysics was a real society, and my part now is to really delve into the fact that was the Vril part of the registered establishment at the time, which, according to this document right here, were they actually part of the German Society of Metaphysics? This is it. It's and there's another one here. Another big word, Pan-Babylonian Society as well. So the Vril Society, more or less, you can trace it back to 1910, if you want to get technical, to the Pan-Babylonian Society. Yeah, it's very interesting, very interesting.
An everyday language simply called the Vril Society was never a large organization. It consisted only of the Pan-Babylonian and Thule Gesellschaft, circles already mentioned, was extremely secretive, and its members were overwhelmingly Jewish. Mitgliedschaft, membership, was only possible after the most thorough examination and approval by the Vril ladies and mediums.
I just said that word.
The so-called Markenzeichen of the Vril ladies and mediums was their extremely long hair, worn in a long braid, the Furdischwanz of the present day. These long braids, called Issai's braids or Issai's pigtails, were considered the most important and most sacred medial antennas, and were therefore never cut. They were supposed to be worn medially and senderwise on and after the Aldebaran Sumir. For the final founding of the Drive Technology Company, Antrib Steknish worked in OHG in 1926, And even later, the money came almost exclusively from Maria O and Trot A. After
Just with the-
1945, Maria O, who had become invisible, remained in the Rhineland in the Eifel region, where she lived, apparently in very good health, still having, at least until
I
the
kid.
early
I'm kidding.
1970s, a far better appearance than most German women of her age. There is no proof that Maria ever married or had children. Her real family name has therefore remained unknown. What is certain is that her father worked at the German embassy in Vienna as a high-ranking official, and that her mother's name was Anna Marie, the mother of Maria O, who is also said to have been a daughter of Maria O, is said to have died in 1930. Maria O herself is said to have died in 1930, according to some sources. Maria O, the real Tochter Anna Maria, and also the Vril medium Veronica, are said to have lived in Germany until 1945, 46, 47 as an interstellar medium on board the Aldebaran-bound spaceship, Vril Odin, and later also on the Aldebaran Sumir, where most of the Vril mediums who were on board Vril Odin are said to have remained with their children.
Oh, did it stop? Hold on. Oh, there we go. Right, it stopped. Right, there we go. I'm back. Let's have a look. Okay, so what we have here. So there we have like a pretty decent breakdown of what Maria Orsic began in Croatia, roughly around about 1890 odd. So, like I said, when it was around about 1940s, she was like 45 years old, according to the text. So she's been long gone by now. But this is where it gets quite interesting, purely because what we're seeing right here is sketches. All right. We don't really have a proper photograph of Maria Orsic. Maybe it was a different name. I don't know. But how did Norbert Jorgen Rathofer, the guy who actually written this book, how did he get the name? And Orsitsch, I think that's the pronunciation for it. Her real name, yeah, Orsitsch, is a German name, all right? Or was it Viennese? I can't remember. I think it's dramatic, to be honest with you. But this is a very typical sketch of Maria. But we also have another one right here. So we go and we got another grainy, blurry. Can't really make out what it is, if it's a real person or not. We will skip forward again. There's a few pages on here. That's just. Let's skip ahead. Is another one as well. A silhouette. This is Maria Orsic. Once again. Okay, I think that's it. But again, it's just crude sketches. I want to see a photograph, you know what I mean? And bear in mind, remember the first photograph I showed you from the Vril project? Maria Orsic had curly hair, not long blonde hair, you know. So from that perspective, I'm going, oh, it's not really making sense. We've gone from one publication saying one thing, and then further on, a couple of years later down the line, this comes out and it says something completely different. Well, when I say looks completely different compared to what Maria Orsic was supposed to look like, which was curly short hair from the first publication. So
The medium Trot A.
So this is Trot, Treya, to what you want to call it. She was the sister. Well, they were best. She was best friends with Maria Orsic. Okay, and she even had more denser, longer hair. Don't go dirty, Nick. Go figure. But she had more of a stronger psychic power than Maria Orsic. Doesn't get talked about a lot. How do you pronounce that? Treya. Treya. I'm gonna Google that. Bastard. I can't even pronounce it. Was it Trey? Oh, where to? Traute. Hold on. UTE. German. Oh, it's detected as German. What does it say? Cloudter. Talter. Time? Tartar. Okay. Sounds like tartar sauce. Anyway.
The second most important Vril medium was undoubtedly Trot A. Born around 1899 in
Close enough.
Südtirol, in the village of Kaisertum near the water's edge. Trot A grew up in Norddeutschland after the family moved to Germany.
The office bike.
She first studied physics and mathematics at the Technical University of Munich, and after
Croat.
completing her studies, worked
Thank you, man.
briefly as a private teacher in Munich. She is said to have come to Munich for the first time in the best years of the war. In 1919, she moved to Munich, where she immediately met Maria O, became her best friend, and joined the new Vril Gesellschaft founded by Maria O in the Vril circles and the Vril Gesellschaft itself, which Maria O founded together with Rudolf von Sebetendorf in January 1917 at the preparatory meetings. Maria O, who had already been an active member of the Panbabylonisch Gesellschaft and the circles of the magical Panbabylonian women in Vienna as early as 1916, now also recruited Trot A for these circles in Munich. Trot A, who had been interested in the occult, the magical, and otherworldly matters since her youth, quickly became one of the most gifted and most reliable mediums of the small circle. Trot A had very long, light blonde to almost white hair that reached far down her back and was even longer than Maria O's. This strikingly long hair, which Trot A wore in a thick braid, was considered by the mediums to be their most important magical antenna. Documents still exist today that...
Yeah, there we go. So the long hair acts as like an antenna. It just helps their psychic and transmedic powers to contact the Aldebaran system, which I have heard before in the ancient past. I can't remember what... Not a society. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, it'll come to me.
Speak of magical...
But the idea of the long hair makes a big part of their philosophy of the Vril Society.
Messengers, magical messenger plants, and magical messenger plants that were supposedly received and written down by Trot A through telepathic means. These texts, written in Templar script, were then translated by Maria O, who was the only one who still knew these ancient scripts well enough.
Okay, so what I gathered here is that the fact that Traitor, oh my god, I'm just going to call it T. She had the means of telepathic means to communicate with the Aldebaran system. And then I believe from what I'm saying here is that Maria Orsic then transcribed the Sumerian text into, I gather, the anti-gravity flying propulsion systems. We'll see. Get to the next page.
As early as 1919, Trot A received, together with Maria O, the first telepathic messages from the 68 light-year distant solar system Aldebaran.
Okay, this is where it all starts, guys, okay? This is where the communication starts with the flying saucers.
She described as a Sumerian world with 2 inhabited planets. From 1919 to 1921, during the founding of the Alldeutsch Gesellschaft für Metaphysik, Vrilerinnen II, later simply called the Vril Gesellschaft, Trot A was the light medium of the Vril Gesellschaft in Munich. After the founding of the Vril Gesellschaft in 1921, Trot A and Maria O founded the drive technology company, Antriebstechnische Werkstätten OHG, in 1926 together. After the war, Trot A became the sole managing director of the company, while Maria O officially withdrew more and more into the background. Trot A and her friend, Maria O, provided the entire capital for the company themselves. Due to her...
There we go. So it's mentioned about the company as well. The pronunciation, the German pronunciations, there's a few of them that I can't pronounce, but yeah, it's one or the other. But that name really gets glossed over. No one really talks about that. Literally being Maria Orsic's best friend, and them two together making these seances. I mean, you hear about Sigrun as well, but she had long black hair. So we'll get to that in a bit.
Studies at the TH Munich, Trot A was, by nature, the professional successor to Prof. Doctoring. Winfried Otto Schumann as managing director in the company, Vril OHG. Together with Prof. Doctoring. M. Close, she tested the Kohler Magnetstrom apparat, and together with the later Magnetstrom apparat discoverer Captain Hans Kohler, she was one of the founding members of the later Kohler Company, which was founded on the basis of the tests carried out by Captain Hans Kohler at sea.
Okay, so Captain Hans Kohler was a real engineer, and apparently he created a device that can actually utilize gravity. And this was the primary device that was used for the Howler and Vril flying saucers. We're going to get to that in the next episode, Hans Kohler and all that. If I remember rightly, I'll show you what the device actually looks like. And this was the main component of what actually made these flying saucers fly in terms of breaking gravity. And Hans Kohler, or that's the name, Captain Hans Kohler, but the real device name was Hans Kohler's tachometer. All right, we'll get to that.
The preliminary stages of its later development, the
Free
Kohler
energy.
converters, of free energy jarets and formers from the Earth's heavy and Earth magnetic electric energies, were known. It is certain that this collaboration between Prof. Schumann and Hans Kohler was the main foundation on which Trot A, together with Prof. Schumann, later built the drive technology of the Vril company, Antriebstechnische Werkstätten OHG. Prof. Schumann worked for the company from the years 1943 until the Antriebstechnischen Werkstätten OHG was later renamed Vril OHG. From that point on, the company worked under Prof. Schumann on the anti-gravity propulsion devices RFC-2 and round aircraft, Vril 1, as well as Vril 7, which
Possibility,
first
mate.
flew in
Yeah.
1943 and at the end of the war on the large Vril 7 long-range bombers. Had Trot A and her decision-maker Schumann decided in 1926 to let their company work on the Vril project, the Vril project would in all probability not have come into existence in time until 1945. In April 1945, Trot A, on board the Aldebaran Dimensional Channel spacecraft, Vrilerinnen, together with the 7-member Vril 7 crew, started the journey of more than 68 light-years to the Aldebaran system. As late as 1946-47, Trot A was still on board Vrilerinnen and later...
I tell you what I'm going to do, could I speed this woman up? No offense, love, but it's like coming nearly 2 hours and I'm like, I've just nearly gone halfway. Right, let's turn it up a little bit. Speed. Try that.
On Aldebaran Zoomer itself, where
Nope. Hold on, wait a minute. No, not timer. Oh, what am I doing? Like an old grandma. Hold on. Normal, that one there. Do it.
Maria O, after the departure of the interstellar thought post in the foreword, could still be reconstructed from the ship's fragments received by Maria O.
Okay, that's a bit better. I don't think any more faster than that. Look at the editing I've done. Look, I've covered the bloody thing up. Look. Oh, there you go. Right, so this, ladies and gentlemen, is trout trait. Anyway, but yeah, this is a crude sketch, but we have this photograph. Look, I reckon I can pull this up from this book here. Where are we to? Right. Okay. Yeah, me too, definitely. 429 Society. Right. Let me just show you. Oh, hold on. No. Let's do that instead. Right. See that photograph on the right-hand side? Okay. There you go. This book is not only the biggest pile of bollocks in terms of German flying saucers. This is why I need to talk about. I need to talk about this in a later date because it's added a lot of information on there. But you can see. Oh, I can actually see. There you go. A very crappy, probably copy from that. What you're seeing on the screen there, on the right hand side, of that medium apparently. So there we go. Here's a very rough sketch. Again, all these women, I presume, are gorgeous looking because, okay, why not? There should be another one coming up. There we go. Shame about the boobs, though. Because I keep on hearing, like, no offense, but apparently the real women have massive tits. That's what I've been hearing. But again, that's the internet. That's not me. That's literally the internet saying that. They had long hair, blonde, blue eyes, 6 foot tall, legs you wouldn't believe, and massive tits. That's what I heard. I don't know whether all the power actually came from the tits itself and the hair, but anyway. See what happens when you introduce this sort of stuff? Men just go along with it, and they pervert up, and they sexualize it basically.
Von E asterisk.
So here is another medium. Hopefully it's not too fast. This is Sigrun. So she plays a big part into this.
Of all the still living members of the Second World War era Vril mediums, the most famous and most important for the Vril project, at the very end, was undoubtedly the tall, slim, and statuesque Sigrun von E, who originated from a German Baltic noble family in Estonia and was reportedly born in 1919 in the manor house of her parents in the Estonian countryside.
Good point.
Her year of birth, 1919, also made her the birth year child of the Third Reich. She was born on the very day that the German Reich was proclaimed at the Landtag in her parents' homeland. Only in 19...
So I remember she was a lot younger than... I'm going to play a slight little excerpt from Sigrun's past. So she was like in the early 20s, basically. So she was pretty much new to the society. But apparently she was part of the Tula Society as well. But there's no confirmation of that.
1933-34 did the then still very young Sigrun von E, who had just come of age, move from the Baltic region to Berlin, where she soon came into contact with the Fliegerrechte, aviation Hitler Youth. There she proved to be a highly gifted young pilot who was already flying solo missions on the Fliegerrechte aircraft even before the war, and she is said to have been the only female member of the Fliegerrechte in the entire Third Reich who was allowed to fly real fighter aircraft. In the summer of 1936, at the age of just 17, Sigrun von E, who came from an old HJ pilot family, was discovered by the Thule Society in Berlin as a medium talent and recruited for the Vril Society founded by Maria O. Maria O recognized in Sigrun von E an extraordinarily strong spiritual mediumistic ability and soon ranked her among the very highest mediums.
It's quite interesting because I don't know if anyone in the diaries, I know Dietrich Eckart, who was pretty much Hitler's best friend, and he's the one that really brought Hitler up as this like charismatic leader, basically. And it was mentioned in his diaries of Dietrich Eckart that the fact that it was dealing with some sort of like mystical power, and I've got to look into this because I don't want to misquote anything, but I wonder if that's actually what I'm saying there. It's actually linked into Vril. This is it. Because Dietrich Eckart was part of the Tula Society. I need to track down the Tula Society and see what they're actually saying back then. I know it's quite controversial what the things that they were saying in terms of a certain demographic, but they applied a lot of esoteric and occult practices, especially like Helena Blavatsky and her sort of philosophy. Ancient, bloody out. My name's today. Asian, Mesopotamia sort of philosophy. I can't pronounce. I can't speak. I just 420'd that sort of knowledge into their practices, and they really blended a lot of that sort of, we could say, a lot of woo-woo stuff back in the day. But they treated it as real, though. You know, look at Vril and the concept behind that. Sorry, I'm rambling. Do apologize.
Sigrun von E also possessed the typical long, dark hair of the Vril mediums, and as a pilot, was used in flight technical and flight pilot matters. As early as 1943-1945, Sigrun von E flew the Dora version of the Me-262 jet fighter as a test pilot, and she is said to have been the only female test pilot in the entire Reich who was allowed to fly the Spitfire type escort fighter, actually the Me-262, and later also the Vril pilot and Techniker Lothar Weiss, fastest Aldebaran dimensional channel spacecraft, Vrilerinnen, pilot white. Maria O recognized as early as 1945 that Sigrun von E was the ideal flight captain for the planned escape flight of the Vrilerinnen spacecraft to Aldebaran. So she appointed her as Vril chief pilot and technical machinist engineer Lothar Weiss as co-pilot and technical machinist engineer.
Welcome on in.
Sigrun von E possessed outstanding, almost unique mediumistic abilities that were far above those of the older, more experienced female mediums. Together with Trot A, she was also able to receive jetting kenpos, messages and sketches, even when she was not in a deep trance. And she was the only medium who could receive exact details about the construction and flight characteristics of the Vril antigravitation's und Dimensionschanneltriebwerk, anti-gravity and dimensional channel propulsion systems of the Vrilodin, Vril 7, and Vril Media spacecraft. Her extraordinary...
So Vril Odin, Vril 7, those are the last produce or flying saucers that apparently took... Well, there's some miscommunications on this because in later publications stating that Maria Orsic actually went on the Haunebu 5 to Aldebaran, but it's actually saying here, I know from this publication, that Vril Odin was the last aircraft, or actually might be that one. No, the mothership. I can't remember the specific names, but yeah, apparently she buggered off to Aldebaran after the war. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Beauty, combined with her strong personality and inner Australian nobility, made Sigrun von E. one of the most striking Vril mediums of the entire 1945 era. Sigrun von E., who was both outwardly and inwardly a person of great beauty and noble character, was thus one of the people who could be called a complete human being in the truest sense of the word. She was modest, worked tirelessly, and always put the greater good before her own interests. She is said to have been the most beautiful woman in German aviation, and according to many witnesses, also one of the most capable female test pilots of the entire war period.
Okay, right, here we are. I knew it was going to stop. Okay, so Sigrun, let's have a little look. Okay, so we have a very interesting photograph right here. I did a reverse image search, and it came up with a famous actor, and I forgot a bloody name. So what happens when you're 420 in the show? Yeah, this is quite fascinating, really. In terms of Sigrun, her age, I believe she was late teens, 20s when she started doing the communications with Maria and Croat. So, judging by this sketch photograph, I couldn't pinpoint the actual actress, is what Grok actually said. Oh, it resembles this sort of actress because of her facial features. But again, we are dealing with a very grainy so-called photograph. I think possibly she looks a bit older there. Not too sure. If we're gathering that was taken at that time period of 1920s, 1930s, so to speak, or thereof. But yeah, there we go. The medium Sigrun. And she was fun. Fun until? Oh, bloody hell, what it means. See what I mean? How AI just doesn't really interpret these words properly. Oh, yeah. That's what I did. I was looking at it and going, what the bloody hell is this on about? I put this through Grok or ChatGPT to break down the wording and all that. And what it actually does, it actually puts up either, especially Grok, with a very sarcastic, skeptical view, like, oh, this is clearly bullshit because you're a fucking idiot and you don't can tell what a real photograph is. And I literally would say stuff like that. It's like, no, it's like just trying to find out who this is in this photograph, or whether or not it's actually, like I said, a famous actor, because we'll get to the famous actor in a bit, because it comes up again with the short-haired Vril lady. But yeah, once again, we have Sigrun, and we have the two silhouettes there. Seems to be what they would do for the time period. I'm just thinking of like advertisement, because like I said, guys, we've just established right here that Vril was pretty much going through two scenarios. One, it was the communications from Aldebaran, but it was also like a private company, a bit like AG&G, the Allgemeine Gesellschaft, which is the excuse me, the electrical company in Germany at the time. The car company as well, BMW. So Vril was almost like a manufacturing company. Like it actually stated it in here. I'll quote from quote, really. So yeah, it's interesting. Very, very interesting to see. But yep, there's Sigrun. What else we got here? Oh, we got another one coming up. Hold your hats, boys. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Sorry, that's what is it called? I am screwing my names up today. What is it? Harry and Paul? Calm down, calm down. Harry and Chums, that was it. There we go. We have another drawing of Sigrun. She's got her hair tucked to her belt. Don't know why. But once again, we have the long hair. And it says at the bottom there, STM archive. And this is the aircraft that she took off just after the war. Sorry, before the war end. I think it was 1943 she deserted, if I remember rightly from the text. And you hear some AI speaking in a minute. And we're going to lead into...
The medium Gudrun R.
Okay, so we're going to lead into Gudrun now. All right. So we've gone through Maria Orsic, Croat. We've had Sigrun and Gundren.
The Vril medium Gudrun R was born around
Gudrun.
1901 on the large country estate of her parents near Königssee in Upper Bavaria, in what was then the German Empire.
Hey, Jamie Music
Presumably
Man, how's
as
it
early
going?
as 1921,
Welcome on
Gudrun
in.
R., who was 3 years older than Maria Orsic Orsitsch, met the latter in Munich, and shortly after, also the Alldeutsch Gesellschaft für Metaphysik Vrilerinnen II, briefly the Vril Society. Maria O, together with Trot A,
Same.
had already known
Same,
Gudrun R., who was very musically gifted since 1919, and soon recognized in her an equally highly gifted medium. Where Gudrun R. lived and stayed until she moved to the Thule-Gedächtnis building in Munich, where Maria O. was living at the time, is not known in detail. In the spring of 1921, just before the founding of the Vril Society, all three friends Maria O., Trot A., and Gudrun R. rented the large parental country house of the parents of Gudrun R. together, where they
You should
then
catch
lived
up,
almost
mate, on that one.
exclusively among themselves, until the founding of the Alldeutsch Gesellschaft für Metaphysik Vrilerinnen II. Gudrun R. belonged, together with Maria O. and Trot A., until 1945 to the leadership of the Vril Society, which from 1941 onwards existed only as the company Vril
Did look like it,
OHG.
didn't it?
Like the best and oldest Vril mediums, she is said to have also been part of the Vrilloden crew in April 1945.
Yeah, good point. I mean, logistically, you couldn't see them really winning the war. I mean, it was quite, say, took the words out of my mouth, say, like, incredible what they managed to do in such a short period of time. I mean, they were fueled by bloody, God knows what they were pumping the soldiers at the time. But I guess you could say that Winter won the war, I guess, to a certain degree. You know? Yeah, I always find the World War II, especially World War II, fascinating. Both sides, I really do. I just find the whole concept. It's, I mean, in terms of like tactics, how they managed to keep things secret, how they managed to spy on each other. Just generally interested. I mean, my nan, who's like, she's going to be 90 in February. I mean, she was alive when they were dropping bombs on her house. I'm talking about the Germans back in 1938. You know, it's no 1940s and all that. So I always fascinated by hearing those stories. You know, it's one of a kind. But where was I going with that? Let's see what happens when a 420 just go boom right out the window. Right, so let's get Gudrun. So here's another medium. Again, this is the problem. What we're dealing with is like really crappy photographs, sketches. I'm like, oh, come on, we've got to do better than this. Bear in mind, this was 1995. Look, I don't know what budget this Temple Half Gesellschaft, which is where this publication come from. Obviously, Norbert Jürgen Rathofer was part of that organization back in the 80s and 90s. I think disbanded in early 2000s. But I just need to find original photograph of Maria Orsic, excuse me, the original blueprints and the photographs they present here in all its glory. I want to see the original. I don't want to see this. I want to see proper, you know. But again, if you're a Mick West believer or skeptic, you would say, oh, this is clearly fake. But the research that I've done alludes that, no, there was a Vril society. In terms of the mediums,
The
that's
medium
the other thing.
Hyde.
Okay, so we have another medium here. Medium Hyde. Here we go.
The Vril medium Hyde was born around 1903 in a German-speaking region of Central Europe, the
Yes,
former
that's it.
Danube monarchy of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the German Empire and Kingdom of Austria-Hungary, and joined...
Sorry, it's a bit like videotaping and you sort of keep on copying that over and over again. The quality just goes, and you're dealing with that time period. Sorry for stopping. Sorry, guys.
the Vril Society with Maria O., Trot A., Sigrun von E., as well as Gudrun R., probably only from April 1945. The Vril medium Hyde, her family name, or at least the first letter of her surname at the time of her early involvement, is not known with certainty and also appears in no surviving documents, is said to have been, at the latest by early April 1945, one of the undoubtedly most beautiful young women with a truly youthful appearance who was significantly younger than all the other Vril mediums. She was said to have been an almost childlike beauty at that time. The Vril medium Hyde was therefore, along with the other approximately 40 female Vril mediums, one of the crew of the Aldebaran-bound spacecraft Vrilloden, and also of the interstellar flight to the solar system Aldebaran Sumi.
Oh, hold on. So I was looking at Nathan's comment. Did you ever run across and mention the split of the Nazi Party, the Third Reich, and the other side? What that other side could be Vril. Good point, actually. Good point. Yeah, because the thing is, what actually happened like after the war with Vril? It just like boom, gone. It gets brought up in books, but it's this publication here is where the whole story really began. But no, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. You always got to think what actually happened afterwards, and this is one thing I need to take in consideration because, yeah, I mean, look, my theories on Maria Orsic and the Vril Society has been very skeptical. It's purely because it was just what information I was coming across and what I was actually finding, and because I'm dealing with the internet, it's you're going to get a lot of bullshit, guys. It comes with ufology, it comes with any sort of topic, really. But now I found the original publication where the story began, which I'm showing you right here. I'm going to butcher your name, man, but you were saying that, Grok sort of punks you to a certain degree, and it does that. And I thought, do you know what? I don't need that sort of shit. I just rather I understand. These are very fringe topics. Obviously, we're dealing with conspiracy theories here, but it just a bit like a snobby prick sometimes. It's like, I don't need that attitude. That's why I use ChatGPT, because I think it gives. I mean, it's both saying this thing, but it's just the attitude that Grok puts forward. But yeah, it's just really, really annoying. I'm guessing Goebbels knew that they were pretty pictures, motivated soldiers in a plain looking marine. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, we'll get to the short-haired lady, and I think someone was mentioning. I don't think someone mentioned it in chat, but back in the day, in the 1920s, the short hair. Was it 1930s, 40s? The short hair was pretty much predominant, but again, it goes against what the Vril Society method was to have long hair, act as an antenna, like you said, as a receiver as well. So the short hair, we'll get to the short hair bit in a minute. So this is Heidi. Hey Heidi, how's it going? She's got beautiful, that's beautiful hair. You can tell she used Pantera. Is it what's that called? I used to use that when I had the long hair. Panten per V. It's a Panten per V, Matt Damon. But she's definitely worth it. Again, I actually put this through image reverse search. Couldn't come up with anything. I thought it might have been an actress or something like that. It's worth trying, isn't it? But again, pixelated copy of a copy. There should be another one.
The medium Paula.
So we've got another medium here, and we'll get to the sketches, photographs afterwards. All right. So we're coming to near the end, guys. Thank you for sticking around so much. It's just we'll get through it. So this is the 6th one now, Paula.
The Vril medium Paula was born around 1920 in the German-speaking region of Central Europe. This included at that time Germany and West Prussia, East Prussia, Silesia, Sudetenland, Austria, West Hungary, South Tyrol, and German Switzerland, and probably only joined Maria O., Trot A., Sigrun von E., Gudrun R., and Hyde from April 1945 as the leadership of the Vril Society, which from 1941 existed only as the company Vril OHG.
I can't see you.
Paula, her family name, or at least the first letter of her surname at the time of her early involvement, is not known with certainty and also does not appear in any surviving documents, is said to have been, at the latest by early April 1945,
I didn't think of that, actually.
One of the undoubtedly 20-something young beauties. Like the other approximately 40 female Vril mediums, she was also on board the interstellar dimensional channel spacecraft Vrilerinnen and took part in the flight to the solar system Aldebaran Sumi.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so here is, once again, very crappy image. Yeah, I need to do on the bloody secret space station, the ties between the Soviets and the Russians, the Americans. It's like they're working both together. Oh, it's fascinating, man. It's like dig the dirt, buddy, isn't it? But here is Paula. There we go, guys. Bit of Paula action for you right there. How's it going? Again with the long hair. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you.
The medium Anna Maria Orsic. The Vril medium Anna Maria is said to have been, by April 1945, the youngest of all Vril mediums still alive at that time. Her birth date is given as around 1930. Some sources even say 1933. Most likely, the Vril medium was a daughter of the Vril leader Maria O. She is said to have been conceived and born out of wedlock between 1925 and 1930.
This
The rumor that Annemarie was a child of love between Maria O and Rudolf von Sebetendorf has probably been circulating since the war. The medium Annemarie and Maria O, the possible mother of Annemarie, were both on board the interstellar Vril medium spaceship Vrilerinnen in late April, early May 1945, and are said to have reached their destination, the Aldebaran Sumi planet, together with the Vril 7, Odin, and the other Vril mediums on board Vril Media. The medium Annemarie was also one of the youngest Vril mediums of the Thule Circle, the Schwarz-San, and probably joined the group only from April 1945. Annemarie is said to have fled to West Germany, the Federal Republic of Germany, and later to the USA, North America, settled there with her family under a different name, equals US citizen, and is still alive today. It is rumored that Annemarie is still alive today.
Okay. If I would, I will do that on Hidden Underbelly show. Kingsman UFO crash. Let me just write that down. Hold on. That sounds familiar. Kingsman UFO crash. And also, someone put a comment saying about Area 52. Yes, I do watch him. I need to catch up. He's just done one on the, is it Limsey alien photo? I think I saw it popped up before I went live. Kingsman UFO crash. Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks so much, you Saxon. Yeah. Oh, I'll have a little look into that, man. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Right, we've got here. We have a medium. What's her name? Anne-Marie. That's it. There we go. A very crude drawing. Once again. Anything else? We're getting there, guys. Somehow we're getting there. Silence. Maria, are you there?
The medium Veronica.
Thank you.
The Vril medium Veronica is said to have been born around 1920 in Graz, Styria, Austria. She probably only joined the German Reich in the late phase after the Anschluss, 1938, and was then transferred to the core group around Maria O and her closest associates. Veronica was one of the Vril mediums who, after Maria O and Annemarie O, also took part in the interstellar dimensional channel flight with the Vril medium spaceship Vril Odin and the Aldebaran Sumi planet destination as early as 1946-47. It is also assumed that the Vril medium Veronica still lives in Germany today, in the Rhineland-Westphalia area.
And boom. Oh my god. Oh, not that attractive. No offense, Veronica. Look, these people probably don't exist. But anyway, just for shits and giggles, they're real people, right? Look, I remain open-minded, but when you got these sketches, it's not really helping the case, isn't it? I could just see my cat like hand come out of the door and go like that. I thought it was a fucking ghost a minute ago. Veronica, what is this? Oh, I tell you what, this is what I mean by grok, because I put this in grok, didn't I? It says simple reconstruction attempt of a falsified pencil drawing of a Vril medium Veronica. So again, it just adds this like being a dick sort of an excuse it puts forward. Falsifying pencil drawing. Could be real, never know. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there.
The medium Marguerite. The Vril medium Marguerite was born around 1900 in Munich, or the Greater Munich area, Upper Bavaria, German Empire. Marguerite was one of the very first members, and from 1921, a founding member of the Alldeutsch Gesellschaft für Metaphysik Vrilroman II, later simply called the Vril Gesellschaft, and possibly even one of the earliest Jedingkenpost contacts to the Sumi system of Aldebaran. She is also...
Oh, dismiss someone. Hey, Ben, how's it going? Nice to see you. Welcome on in. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well, and welcome into the show.
Said to have been one of the first Vril women who, together with Maria O, actively participated in the construction of the 1924 Gensates Flugmaschine, Otherworld flying machine, the earliest experimental anti-gravity aircraft, which was probably technically still very primitive. After the founding of the Vril company, Vril, Antriebstechnisch Werkstätten OHG, Marguerite is said to have been its organisatorisch Bereich, organizational director for a time, and as a natural scientist by training, she was probably...
Ben the Yorkshire Goophonian. I can't pronounce the bloody last word. Ben the Yorkshire Goophonian. How's it going? Nice to see you. I thought it just said Ben on the thing, but yeah, so we put your full name. But I'd be doing well, man. Nice to see you.
Also the technical deputy to Maria O in the early years. In the years 1936 or 1937, Marguerite is said to have withdrawn more and more from the Vril project in Bavaria and probably died in Upper Bavaria shortly afterwards, most likely already in 1937-38. She is therefore one of the few Vril mediums who certainly did not live to see the end of the war.
There we go. Right, let's check this out. So this is Marguerite. Yeah, again, so once again, we are dealing with sketches. But I have to admit, made it look pretty, except for Veronica. No offense, Veronica. Yeah, I tell you what, that right at the bottom there, STM archive. I'm gonna. Oh, there it is. There, dumbass. Look, source right there. I'm gonna have a little dig into that and see what's that about. Okay, it's got to have something.
The medium Gertie V. Gertie V, or Gertrude Vogt, or Vogt, was born around 1900 as the daughter of a wealthy family in the North German port city area. The position of one of the founding members of the Vril Antrobstechnisch Werkstätten OHG company.
So that was that Drive Workshop company that I talked about earlier.
The rank of Gertie V was probably that of the Vril company's first outside business manager at the very beginning of the company's history, a position that did not require official membership in the Vril Society or the management circle around Maria Orsic. The official business manager and main signatory of the company Vril OHG remained Maria O herself until April 1945, with Maria Orsic, the management of the Vril Society. Gertie V, through her marriage to Maria O, was given her own area of responsibility within the company, especially after the death of her husband, so that Gertie V was able to devote most of her time to the company work and the many contacts to aircraft companies and international business partners of the company. Due to her mediumistic interests, Gertie V is said to have already belonged to the Vril Society, and Maria O in contact around 1925, one of the so-called guest mediums of the Vril Society, through Maria O. Probably Gertie V was, at least until 1929, only the business manager of Maria O, and from 1934, also the managing director of the company. In the years 1936 or 1937, Gertie V is said to have largely withdrawn from the RFC-1 and RFC-2 projects in the Vril project due to severe illness. In the years 1936-1937, Gertie V then worked only as an interpreter and consultant between 1936 and 1941 for German and Swedish companies and her husband. Whether Gertie V ever worked as a Vril medium for more than a short time is unknown. She is also not mentioned as a member of the Vril Society and also not as a regular member of the Vril company. At the beginning of May 1945, Gertie reportedly fled more than 40 years after the war, so at a relatively advanced age, she died. She is therefore one of the few Vril figures who definitely did not live to see the end of the war in 1945, and also did not take part in the alleged flight to Aldebaran.
Yeah, this is the other thing. Right, here we go. This is where we get to the short-haired women of Vril. And this is the only short-lived Vril medium, Gertie, Gertie, just call it Gertie. Again, we're dealing with the source archive here. I'm going to delve into this. And now we know the actual mediums are part of the Vril Society. Gives me a real chance to dig into who are these people, if they actually ever existed, and why haven't they come forward after the war? Again, if they're dealing with a secret society and it's to do with the Third Reich, again, the implications of that through the Allied forces, I think they thought, do you know what, we're just going to go and hide in. But is where they went after the war is where the story's been told, at the fact they went back to Aldebaran with the Houndaboo flying saucer. Or they could just went to Argentina, you know. But yeah, here we go. This here gets brought up in the UFO documentary, written and co-written actually by Norbert Junge-Ratzhofer, who written this publication you're seeing right here. And this, I think Grok or ChatGPT, one of the two, said it was an actress, Julia something. But in all honesty, I couldn't find an original photograph. And it's decent enough to actually try and find. But nevertheless, it came up with a bunch of like old photographs, grainy photographs. So maybe it is out there somewhere. It was STM, not SIM. Okay, fair enough. I can see it right there. But again, the Vril mediums, short hair. Huh. Not too sure. But this is what the publication says. Nearly there, guys. We're nearly there.
The Medium X. The Medium X, whose real name has remained unknown to this day, is said to have been born around 1915 in Switzerland. From 1940 onwards, she worked as the owner's own particularly trusted agent for the German Admiralty, Canaris, later in the Vril Society, also in the company Vril OHG, with the rank of Marine Adjutant Captain and Vrilerinnen. She was one of the few people who, right up to the end of the war, was involved in both the official Vril 7 and Vril 1 round aircraft projects of the Vril Society and Vril OHG, and the secret organization KET, chain organization, under Admiral Canaris, which was supposed to smuggle particularly important tactical material out of the Reich before the end of the war. These mediumistic Canaris agents, also SD agents, could obtain the most secret contact in Switzerland through their own contacts and bring material needed for the war that could no longer be obtained in Germany itself. The SD medium also managed to smuggle large quantities of the so-called Hintergrund, background material for the Vril project, out of the Reich in the final phase of the war. What is certainly interesting is that Admiral Canaris was not only personally very interested in esoteric circles, but according to some sources, also from 1940 to 1945, personally entrusted his Medium X with the secret task of smuggling as much of the most important raw materials, blueprints and key components of the Vril giant spacecraft, Vril 7, and Vril Odin out of the Reich as possible before the fall of the Reich. These parts were probably not assembled and launched until after 1945. The mysterious Vril Medium X. By the end of 19...
Yeah, so we have this Vril Medium X. So we don't know who she is, but we know who her parents are. This is the other thing I was maybe go, I'm not too sure about that one. But yeah, once again, we have this unknown medium, apparently. Not a lot of information on her. Known as Vril Medium X. There we go.
40. This tall, diletantishly drawn lady. The unknown tall lady depicted here must have already played a very important role for the Vril people, probably in Switzerland. Later, it became known that she was a trusted person of the SD chief Canaris, who, at the end of the war, wanted all the people of the KET, chain organization, to continue working on his project.
But the thing is, this mysterious woman that no one knows about, how do you know she ended up working for this company? Do you know what I mean? It's just like, who is this woman? Anyway, we'll continue.
Later, it became known that she was a trusted person of the SD chief Canaris, who, at the end of the war, wanted all the people of the KET, chain organization, to continue working on his project.
All right, there we go. Got a black sun symbol right there.
As already mentioned, only the Vril mediums Maria O, Trot A, Sigrun von E, Gudrun R, Hyde, and Paula belonged to the Vril leadership, by which is meant here the leadership of the Vril Society. For the medium Gertie V, for example, although she was the managing director of the Vril OHG company, was of little importance as a medium within the Vril Society. Good mediums of the Vril Society, but who did not belong to its leadership, included Anna-Marie, Veronica, and Margaret. The Medium X also held neither a managing director position at the Vril OHG company, nor a leadership role in the Vril Society, even though through its activities it contributed decisively to the success of the Vril spacecraft projects up to 1944-45. The Vril mediums Angelica, Annalise, Marion, and Corolla. Of the latter, there exists only a barely reconstructible sketch in which the subsequently completed overdrawn short hairstyle almost completely covers the forehead and eyes, are known only by their names, more precisely their first names, because otherwise it is only known that they were members of the Vril Society, respectively the Vril OHG, until April 1945. Of the approximately 40 Vril mediums in total, only about 15 are known to us, mostly by their first names only.
The complete body of evidence for the series of writings presented here.
Oh yeah, I actually ran out of voice activation, so I had to use something else. So we're back to Jenny again. Jenny, take it away, darling.
Is located at the end of the last volume. Subsequently, the respective sources, also within the text, are indicated above the paragraphs concerned. As early as 1945, everything designated as thought mail and as transmedial reception was already referred to as the so-called STM archive in early writings on all members of the Templar Archive Vienne. What is more recent or was only added later, however, can be recognized by the use of such anonymous media sources of the present day. Yet, when even the last of these relatively contemporary sources of findings related to my own letters appeared, no findings about these things were available. Norbert Jürgen Rathofer, the author.
There we go. What's this?
Supplement to the theme of international and national left-wing fascism. the new political whip of mankind.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Well, we're done. Oh my flipping god, we got there. Right, let's get the hell out. Oh my god, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. See you later. Bye. I'm joking. Right. So what I showed you in that presentation done by Lily herself. And right at the end, we had a bit of Jenny in there. But what you just saw, guys, is the whole breakdown of Maria Orsic and her mediums. All right. Again, I'm going to put the original publication in. It's in the description. I'll put it in chat as well. Where is it too? It's in there somewhere. I'll put it in description so you can see. I think it might be in there. But oh, that's it. There it is there. I got it. So that wasn't the whole booklet. That was just a very small extract. And there's 8 booklets to go through. But today, I just want to focus on Maria Orsic and the Vril Society and how it was established. But from what I've gathered through, obviously, reading through this like 3 times, is that the fact that the Vril Society... Okay. From what I said, but right, let's just go... Let's backtrack. I've been saying the fact that the Vril Society, there was no... Hey, Bob, how's it going? Vape it up. That the fact there wasn't really a lot of evidence for it. The same with Maria Orsic as well. There wasn't really, it's nothing to bite onto. There was no historical documents, nothing like that. However, looking at that company called Drive Technology company that I told you, that big fancy word, it's a real company. And then I put, for instance, in like ChatGPT or a sort of AI to help me out, Vril, OGH at the end. And it says, yes, Vril, OGH was a real company linked into the partnership of the Drive Technology company. And I'm going, well, you said that the Vril Society was a fictional society, but then you actually put the real pronunciation of it, of Vril, OHG in. Hey, Andrew, nice to see you, man. Welcome on in. Yeah, once you put that in, it comes up as a Vril Society. So, is the Vril Society real? I would say 99% yes, it was. It's that 1% I'm like, I need more to bite onto. I need some sort of original document. For instance, it's like the emblem. I forgot the emblem here. You know, the Vril Society emblem? I can't find that in any publications before 1992. I'll get it here. Yes, the power of Vril is holding my hair up. Absolutely. Let's bring up the Vril symbol. But again, it's more research on my behalf. And because I found this publication, I managed to go in a bit more deeper. Where's the Vril Society? Where's the big V? It's a big V. Hold on. I just used the internet, Nick. Use the internet. Vril Society. Right, here we go. In fact, I might get my haircut shorter because it's kind of pissed me off. When I'm boxing, it goes in my eyes. It's kind of really annoying. The Vril Society symbol. That's the black sun. We know that because it's in Himmler's castle. We all know that. We are talking about that there. That symbol. It cannot be found anywhere in publications before 1992. And obviously, I'm talking about the Vril project right here. Okay, this is where it all started from. But I'm not saying it could be found somewhere else. But that symbol alone cannot be traced back anywhere. So I don't look. Look. Another aspect of this is that this society, the Tempelhof Gesellschaft, where Norbert Jorgen Ratshofer was a part of, according to ChatGPT and all that, the fact that this is basically a right-wing neo-Nazi organization. So with that being said, everything they said must be discredited. But I don't know the society. Do they bash that certain demographic? to be honest with you, what I've read, no, because it brings up Nordics and stuff like that. But again, it's always we're dealing with AI here, and when you're dealing with AI, you are dealing with skeptic scenarios and conclusions and answers, and that's one thing I have noticed. If it does bash that certain demographic, I don't really want to talk about it because it's not the place for alien addicts, really. But from my research, I don't know what the Temple Half Gesellschaft was about. They brought up publications, but were they anti-Semitic? I really don't know because there's not a lot of information on it. In regards of Norbert Jorgen Rathofer, who wrote this, I mean, I could try and reach out to talk to him, but again, it's like, who is this person and can I trust this person? But I just need that more detail. You know, what was the purpose of writing this book? What was the whole purpose? Was it just a forgery, just another attempt to sort of add a new concept into ufology? And it's a bloody big one as well. I mean, to write eight, not pamphlets, books like this, well, 15 of them when you really look at it in total, it's a whole backstory behind the Vril Society and everything. It's immensely fascinating, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's made me less skeptical and more intrigued to find more information. But yeah, I think, have I got anything else I can talk about? 2.5 hours, bloody hell. I want a 420 again. I want to chill with you guys. I want to chill with you. So in terms of moving forward, I think now I'm not going to do these as live streams. I just find it a bit tedious. Okay. I'm going to upload this as a video form, and I can go at my own pace. I can break things down. I can talk about aspects of the whole conspiracy, because I know this conspiracy at the back of my hand. Now it's the nitty-gritty detail of learning about the societies, what the whole thing, the whole shebang was about. The esoteric side that I've kind of haven't really gone into, like the nitty-gritty of it. But today was obviously about Maria Orsic, the Vril Society, set up as a real registered company, and the mediums behind that. All right. And I thought that was quite interesting to show you where it all began. All right. So if anyone says, oh, you want to know the real story of Maria Orsic, show them this live stream. All right. So moving forward, I will do that as a video form and probably do my magazines as well and focus the live streams. I want to talk to you guys. I want a 420, chill out, play some videos. I'll tell you what. Let's bring up Twitter because I've got some stuff to talk about. I haven't seen footage yet. Apparently, Arrow released 2 footage of UAPs. Oh, Nick, you said the word UAP. How dare you? UFOs. Oh, that's naughty, naughty. Oh, dear, Nick. You should know better. You should know better. Right, let's go on to Cosmic Twilight. We go into bookmarks. Oh, yeah, check this out. This is weird. Oh, it's doing that thing again. It's not loading. Hold on. Let's do that again. Oh, for fuck's sake. I said it wouldn't swear. I probably saw about 5 times already. Right. Oh, is that birds, is it? Hold on. Looks like bloody birds. Hold on. So this is from John Greenwald Jr. United States European commander submitted a report of an unidentified anonymous phenomena to the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which is known as ARROW, consisting of 25 seconds of video footage of an infrared sensor aboard the US military platform of 2023. So the Arrow is saying that this is 95% likelihood birds. Yeah, birds. Let's have a look. Guys, what do you think? Ooh. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Pixelated birds. Yeah, with birds, you get the flappiness. You can kind of see that. And I have seen birds in a straight line like that. Yeah. I think I'll have to agree on that one. Yeah, we talked about that in the beginning of the show, mate. Yeah. I mean, if you want to know the history of Vril, I think it was this is part 7. I think it might be part 4 or 5. I actually talked about the history of Vril and where it come from. And yeah, even like Bovril as well had the word Vril in it as well. Yeah, it's quite interesting on that. I think it might be part 4 or 5, but go check it out, man. This is like the 4th time I talked about Vril Society and Maria Orsic. Yeah, fascinating one. All right, geese. All right, okay. We're all in agreement that this is most likely geese or birds. Right, Arrow, well done. Okay, this is the one that people is raving about at the moment. And I haven't seen it. I have not seen this at all. So this is Arrow has released a new unresolved UFO, not UAP, video. The AFR ICOM submitted the infrared footage after the US military platform captured something they could not explain. The case remains unsolved. Right. My predictions. This come from Arrow, right? Arrow, the All Domain Anomaly Revolution Office. Trump administration can't stand them because they're Project Blue Book, aren't they? Their disinformation campaign. So my prediction, I bear in mind, guys, this is the whole truth. I have not seen this footage. Let's put it a bit bigger. No, go away, Nick. There we go. I have not seen this footage anywhere. Right, Bob Lazar saying, rocket balloon. I am bunged up at the moment. It's terrible. What's going on? You're saying shite footage. I kind of agree with you. Same with Rotary as well, and Space Cow. Right, let's do this. I'm excited. No, I'm not. It's gonna be shit footage. Let's have a look. So, is it this bit here? Wow, startling footage, guys. This is the best footage. This is like better than the Tic Tac footage. I think I saw 3-Eye Atlas right there. Right. We have a chem in the sky. See, I didn't say the word. That. Uh, wow. This is astonishing footage. Oh my god, bigger up, Nick, bigger up. This is honestly, this is groundbreaking. Ross Coulthard, where are you, mate? Third phase, need your attention right here. Oh my god, are you kidding me? So you're saying that that out of all the footage that has been filmed in military bases, even through NASA, military pilots. I mean, I'm talking about NASA here. Like I know with the 3-Eye Atlas, but they've got telescopes that are literally looking up into space. They've got something. In regards like the Navy, I'm pretty sure they got something. They got the rise to the skies. Fighter pilots as well. But yeah, is this the best they can do? Is this the best that Arrow can actually do? Is that what the hell is this? What are people saying? Oh my god. Once again, potato camera. Trust Arrow to give trust Arrow to give us the most crappiest footage. Guys, I've shown better footage of UFOs in space than this. And this is like back in the 90s. Even my magazines produce better photographs and video footage. Not video footage, but photographs than this. This is terrible. Yeah, I would agree. It's coming, baby. I mean, what is it? What was the purpose of like bringing this out? This ain't groundbreaking footage. I'm trying to like, it's behind a chem. It's blurry. It's pixelated. You can't make out what it is. It's smeared. Welcome to ufology. It's just I can't get fucking new. It's like a TR3B. If I don't look like one, this is oh my god, I can't stand this. It's hilarious. So yeah, Arrow, as much damage as they've done, bringing out that bloody report, this does not help anything. What are people saying on this? So Stephen Greenstreet said, I wonder why it remains unsolved. It's just like that. Terrible. What is going on? Arrow's strategy is clear. Releasing footage so blurry you can't even categorize it properly. But hey, trust me when they say honest broker, right? Oh my god, this is terrible. Terrible. Welcome to ufology. Nothing changes. Right, moving on. Concerned citizen. That's just a shadow, by the way, if you see that. It's nothing to do with
Having the moment I do not have to answer.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But no, that's a shadow. I got loads of footage of that. It's a natural thing, so nothing to worry about that. This is I tell you what, fuck it. You got after that bloody arrow, do you want to see some real footage? Oh, come on. It's a bit of palette cleanser from the last footage I just showed you. Send this to Arrow. Send this to Arrow as a laugh. Please don't jump scare. I really hope there isn't a jump scare. I don't think there is. Okay, it's going. Fantastic. And it's silent as well. Beautiful. Beautiful. I have no words. 3 minutes of Joe Rogan debunking mankind's greatest achievement on NASA moon landing. I don't want to bring up moon landing. It's getting a bit boring now on that one. Yeah, there's something I want to bring up at some point. Have you heard of the giant Gangladesh? I fucking said the word wrong. Kangladar. He's a red humanoid, 12 feet tall. Go check this out. I'm just going to play like at least a couple of minutes of this.
In 2002, you were called into a very remote section of Afghanistan because a patrol had basically gone missing. Okay, there's no villages around for miles.
Like very remote. Yeah, very remote. So we flew in. To about 4 kilometers. We're hiking through the same area where they were supposed to make one of their checkpoints, one of their relics. And before we left, there was all kinds of what happened with the ambush. But that was even odd because at point of ambush, you need to call for maybe close air support, something. Okay, there was no calls made. You just off the bridge. So we're coming down a mountainside, and it was a nice path, goat path. As we bent around this corner, you could see this opening of the cave. There's a cave as we're coming around, and then I see. There's a lot of rocks, which is another oddity, and then bone matter.
Yeah, that's
I'm not close enough to identify what kind of bones, but I did see something I knew was a piece of our communications equipment. So instantly, we're thinking ambush, maybe animal, could be anything. And there was enough room in front of this cave, but it had a sheer drop off. But there was enough room that we actually got into a decent dispersal in case of ambush.
You see something coming out of the cave. And it's moving with a speed and agility that catches you off guard.
Everybody.
And
he comes out. It was a man at least 12 to 15 feet high. This is a monster. Red beard. Then his hair was long past the shoulder. A scarlet red And Dan runs at him, starts shooting, just broke all of us into the reality. As it was so
Now your training is kicking.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
muscle memory, complete muscle memory. While Dan is moving at him, another bro of mine's laying down fire, and I start firing. He skewers Dave. He's now got him on this pipe. It went 2. And he's still got him. And he's coming after more. We all just clicked in. I don't know what it was, but I remember we're all like, shoot him in the face, shoot him in the face.
Oh yeah, we put up a good point.
All weapons components were in force. We had Vril aids.
Oh yeah, thanks, Paul. I forgot about that.
This is sounding longer than it took. We're talking 30 seconds. Okay. And Wyatt is a good man, probably one of the best men I know, now dead. Before I'd left, they were already starting what they call a 9-line, which...
Okay, right, I'm going to stop it there because I want to do a follow-up on that. I might do it on Hidden Underbelly show. Not too sure, but I find that absolutely fascinating. There's like a giant... Oh, how do you spell that? Kandahar? Is that right? Yeah, military personnel in Afghanistan. A creature was described as incredibly strong, standing 12 feet tall, and having 6 fingers and 2 rows of teeth. Wow. Yeah, definitely do a follow-up on that one. Right. Area 51. Now, body language and the way you pronounce accounts, especially from people that actually saw things firsthand, sometimes are not convincing, right? And when it comes to Roswell, and like I mentioned before, why I haven't really touched upon Roswell, purely because it's just the fact there's been so many people that's come forward that claim to be part, or I've definitely seen the extraterrestrial, and they came forward like 40 years after the event actually come out. This is just a very short clip. Now listen to the guy. Let's just listen to him first and see whether or not he's actually telling the truth, or is he just making a story up. That's Richard Doty, not Richard Doty, idiot, Richard Doland.
I never was supposed to talk about it.
You saw wreckage?
Yeah.
And did it look like aircraft wreckage? Like an ordinary kind of plane that might have gone down?
No.
Yeah, sorry.
I've seen a lot of aircraft wreckage, and they hit the ground. They burn. You can see a lot of burned pieces of what's left over. On this thing, he didn't have that kind of appearance.
So what happened when you went to the hospital?
One door there at the hospital was partially open in the corridor there.
Yes.
And there was a terrible odor there. It was smell, you know. And inside they were working in a small creature.
Did it look human?
No.
No.
You feel confident that that was not a human being?
Wait for it.
No, I don't think it was a human being.
I don't think it was a human being. I think you would tell the difference between a 4-foot or 3-foot alien creature and a human.
I asked him a couple of times, trying to get a sense of, did you really think this was a non-human? He seemed to think it was a non-human. He seemed to be pretty sure about that.
Could you give me any details about what the face looked like? Did you see eyes, nose, mouth?
The nose was a little much pushy. He wasn't a regular nose like that. He was much just protruded something little.
Was he dead or alive?
He was still alive. This one was moved a little, and he moved slow, and then he moved the other way.
How close did you get to this creature in the hospital?
Roughly about 20 feet.
Right. Did that guy sound convincing? Be honest. To be honest with you, he didn't. That's just my interpretation. Again, I'm not a scientist. I can't tell. I just guessed by the body language and how he described the scene. You are seeing an alien creature. That scene must not have left your sight in like 40 years. to see something that mankind has always wanted to see. I mean, I'm guessing they probably look human, but that is one's account which would at least bring some sort of excitement, fear. But yeah, he kind of like looked away, like even like Space Cow was saying, like kind of soft. Didn't seem that convincing. And when he was asked, was the creature human? He goes, no, it didn't look human. When you see this thing, what, 20 feet away? This is the problem with Roswell, guys. Look, listen, there's something happened in Roswell, but unfortunately, there's one thing as a historian into ufology, you look at a lot of these cases, people do insert themselves into ufology, even though it had nothing to do with the case, either to get fame, grifting, or something like that. And there are grifters out there. It's just people just don't like that word, but that's what it is. You do get people out there just sort of insert themselves into ufology for, I don't know, political means, like it is at the moment, swindling the actual case itself, or just want to get part of the action, you know. But that guy just, for me, just didn't seem that well convinced, to be honest with you. Again, might be wrong. I wasn't there. Really interesting aspect of history.
Here is one of the first mobile phones. Again, we had to wait over 100 years for our versions that we have today. The controllers, or the governments of the world, wanted to make sure they could listen in first before they made this technology readily available to the public.
Crazy. Hold on, I need to find this video. Basically, I don't want to delve in too much, but basically, where was I going with that? There was this YouTube channel that delved in into history, and it was talking about lampposts, like gas-powered lampposts. And these weren't connected to anything, you know. So it was basically talking about an advanced technology back in the day. And the more and more you look into it, the more and more you go, well, actually, you know, we were quite advanced back in the 1920s in terms of electricity and stuff like that, even like electric cars and scooters and stuff. I mean, we had pretty much what we see now back in the 1920s. It's just like forgotten history. I'm trying to bring up that bloody video. Lamppost forgotten history, is that right? Maybe that's it. Oh, that's it, right. I think it's worth giving this guy a shout out because, well, he's got more subscribers than I have, but anyway, that's very, very quick. This one right here. I found it interesting. It's called Forgotten Gas Lamps of Tartaria, Ancient Energy Right Under Our Noses. And this is called Hidden Rabbit 3. It's his newest channel, but he goes through all these old lampposts that were powered by gas, but some of them weren't even connected to anything. And what he found out is that a lot of these, I mean, for instance, there's no gas pipes connected to this bridge. But again, you can actually light it up. You know, these like old ancient lampposts. But some of them are got almost like Tesla technology in it. It almost had like a new filament that was new at the time, and eventually that just completely went very, very quickly. Have I got the thing up here so you can see? Yeah, you can see it. So yeah, this is one thing I have noticed in terms of like these beautiful lampposts. I mean, it goes into like technical detail into it. But yeah, Hidden Rabbit.
Episode 1, War and the Bell.
But he goes into, I was looking to a specific one to do with the World's Fair in 1909, and it's just unbelievable footage, and they managed to destroy the whole thing. But again, I'm interested in history. But if you want to go check it out, I'm going to put that in the description right there. I'll put it in chat. There we go. Both. Have that cock and balls. Right. What else have I got? Have I got anything else? Oh yes, Paul. Right, just to cap today's show, we'll bring up to like 3 hours. I want to show you what I captured in the sky the other day. A lot of people knew about this. There was a big light streak across the sky, and it popped up on the UFO feed on Facebook, and I managed to capture it bang on center. So this is the lit up version. Check that out. Look at that. I don't know what it could be. Those are obviously UFOs, satellites, planes. You can see them flashing like that one there. But this, no idea what it could be. Let's go back again. It didn't do the Norway spiral effect. Because when I first saw this, I reviewed it first. And I was like, oh, that's probably the moon reflecting off the camera. But then there were other reports coming forward saying, no, this happened at 5:30 in the morning. And everyone saw this from Wales to Scotland. And I looked at it again. I was like, oh, no, that's it. That is the whole thing. But I have no flipping idea what it could be. Let's just stop it at a certain point. And it's like, look how perfect. You couldn't get any more perfect right in the middle of the camera. So 5:30, it's still dark. And it's around about 6:30. I'll get up around about 5 o'clock to see if there's any trails in the sky and I can analyze. So I missed this opportunity. But yeah, I can't see no visible. I mean, with the rocket, so-called rocket, you can see. You would see it, but it just glows. Just the glow appears. I don't know. I have absolutely. Yeah. Are you talking about that? Yeah, with hold on, let's have a look again. There's one thing with sky watching. Like you see that's an aircraft, okay? Because this time lapse is all sped up. You will see like that's an aircraft. Those there either are satellites, which do show up. Some of them are brighter than normal. Yeah, you can't see no distinctive object in that glow. Like that just sort of fades out after a while. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what it could be. Open into Futurama. Oh man. So yeah, I thought I'd just show you that is an unsolved mystery, and still no one knows what it is. But I mean, Mick West, the clip denier, would be like, it's a rocket malfunctioning. So well, I'm sorry, but I'm not buying that at all, Mickey. One more time. Yeah, I don't know. Not a rocket. Sorry, not buying it. Who knows? Could be Atlas. Is right overhead where the camera is, which is like right over my place, mate. But I didn't witness it at the time, but I know from the position of the camera where it would be. No, I don't think it's it's definitely not a chem. That's what I thought first of all, and then I was like, oh, it's probably the moon. But yeah, there we go. God knows. No flipping idea. It's an unsolved mystery. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. Do I have anything else to show you? Oh, I found one more photograph in a book I need to talk about. Oh, just before we finish the show, just quickly. The Maria Orsic and Vril Society, just to clarify that now we have the internet, it's all over the place. You ain't going to find the original transcript that I showed you today. 2 books. A banned book in Germany called Secret Societies and Their Power in the 21st Century by Jan van Helsing. He, a bit of a controversial figure, but he's added a lot of pinpoints from what the Vril project and what I showed you, the publication about Maria Orsic, into his book and swindled a lot of it. Okay. This came out in 1996. There is another publication right here by Maximilien de, it's a sort of French author, I believe. And this is a book called Maria Orsic, Nikola Tesla, and their extraterrestrial messages, occult and UFOs, Part 1. And there's a connection between Maria Orsic and Tesla. Now, what have you learned today? No connection between Nikola Tesla and Maria Orsic. Again, it's just a lot of made up stories, and I think people need to be very careful of where they're getting their information from. But again, what you saw today is the original publication. So you've seen the ball's tits and ass, so to speak. So I hope things made sense. I want to go over again to sort of clarify a few points, that the fact that the Vril Society, yes, seems to be a very real society, but it seems to be split up into 2 categories. One, it was more or less the sort of mechanical side, and the other sort of side was to actually have transmedial communications with the planet Aldebaran. And like I said, it's a lot of things don't get mentioned, especially the mediums that were involved with it as well. Sigrun, Heidi, and all that. You know, Panama, not Panama. That just came into my head. But nevertheless, you see that the original transcript is what I want to get across today. So anything after that, well, we'll get to the other publications as well. But anything after that from 1996 onwards could potentially be BS, but nevertheless, the mystery continues and the search will continue because, like I said, I like to find the nitty and gritty of this conspiracy, and I'm getting there slightly. I just need to expand my research. You know, publications and internet is one thing, but I think I need to expand out. I need to find if Maria Orsic exists. You know, I'm seeing the 1111 everywhere, and I'm getting dreams of Maria Orsic. Something's wrong. I don't know if she's communicating with me or something. She's dead now, mate. Come on. She's going to be an old grandma by now. It's like 120 years old. You need to get with myself. But guys, thank you so much. One True Saxon, thanks for being here. You've been all 3 hours. Thank you so much, man. I wasn't too sure if people would stick around, but anyway, none of that next time. It's all about having fun, communicating with you. So this will be a further video I'll upload. All right. But I had fun nevertheless. And there's an entertaining one as well. Educational one. In that right space, gal. Thanks for being here, man. Paul Robbins, thanks for being here. Sophia, much appreciated. Doing well. And say hello to what's your dog called again? I forgot. I know. Say hello to the dog for me. give the dog a bone, as one would say. Once you Saxon, say hello to you and goodbye. Thanks for being here. Science Evidence Fringe, much appreciated. Oh God, Bob Lazar, One True Saxon, Sophia again. Oh, it's Bruce Wayne. Bruce, that was it. Say hello to Bruce for me. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Space Gal, One True Saxon once again, and Sheep Pop Pop, and Bob Lazar, Ray Clegg, and Green Tea. Thanks for being here. And Nathan from the Quantum Show. Oh, mate. And Sadie as well. Sadie. Yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat. It's much appreciated. Please like and subscribe. It really does help. It does, because YouTube are not being nice to me at the moment, guys. All right. We'll see how things go at the end of the year, but it's like, come on, YouTube, cut me a break, please. Like, I'm doing the best I can here. I'm trying to cut the swearing out, all the naughty words and all that. But yeah, I hope it's an educational one. And I forgot what your name was. Put your name, your real name, or whatever you want to be called. I forgot. I can't pronounce that. Was it Ryan? Was it Ryan? I can't remember. But yeah, thanks to everyone in chat. It's much appreciated. And yeah, I'll catch you on Tuesday. I might do like a little catch up. I just might. Oh, Brian, that was there. Yeah, I thought it was. Not Bert. No, definitely Brian. Okay, that's fine, mate. Also, I'll try to remember that next time. Love the Bunny Rabbit. Is that Bunny Rabbit? Yeah, I think it is. But yeah, thanks for being in chat, guys. Much appreciated. So I'll see you on Tuesday for another follow up on. Where is it? Try and grab it. UFO magazine, continuing part 2. We're going to try and finish it off. We're going to get to the Verona or vagina case of 1996, and yeah, just try and finish off the magazine so we can get to the next one. So we'll see. So quite interesting stuff in there, actually. Is Hiding Messiah going to make an appearance? Ooh, You might do. Anyway. So yes, that'll be at Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And we do another follow-up show. Actually, no, I'm going live with Hidden on Wednesday as well. But if not, if I don't see you Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll catch you next Friday for another show on Alien Addict. Guys, thank you so much. It is much appreciated. Much love and peace and love. Happy 420. And have a good weekend. I'll either catch you Tuesday or Wednesday or Hidden Underbelly show. Hidden Underbelly show or next Friday. So have a good one. And I'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Oh, I forgot to show you a little photograph of me from back in the day. All right, Friday, I promise. Look at that. Look at that face. Get off the screen. It's terrible. Right, I thought I'd show you that. I have a bit of a funny one. Right, catch you soon, guys.